This is the Renaissance Men podcast, broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch. Now please welcome your host, Stuart Garrard.
Good evening and welcome to the Renaissance Men podcast for April 1st, 2022. I am your host, Stuart Garrard. Joining me this week, as usual, is my good brother, Jimmy the Saint. Sorry, a bit of a delay there in the applause, but...
No, it's nice.
Very formal, very regal.
That's nice. That's nice. That's much nicer than the one I used to brought myself.
Good, isn't it? Yeah,
Just-
good, isn't it?
Yeah, just soaking that one in. Hello out there. Hello, Stu. Good to be here, buddy. Good to be here.
Good to have you, mate. Good to have you. Now, before we move on, I would just like to take this opportunity to personally thank both Michael and Chris, who have sadly left the Renaissance Men family this week. They both go with our personal and profound thanks, I think it's fair to say, Jimmy, for their time, commitment, and great humour that they showed over their time on the team. All of which will be hugely missed by me personally, and I think the channel at large and the viewers as well. So I look forward to their future content at Popculture Productions, and hope for a future collaboration together once again. For fans of the Comic Stash and any of the content Selling or Lacey produce, please give them a follow on Twitter at PopCultProd or Facebook.com/groups/Popculture Productions. Our teleprompter's going too quickly. But yeah, I just want, it wouldn't be us if there wasn't an error in there. But I just want to say to Lacey and Seddon, I'm going to raise my glass to you one last time and say thank you for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure. I do wish you the very best in your future endeavours, WWE style. But I know you'll smash it. I know you'll smash it on Popculture Productions, and hopefully in the future we can collaborate down the line. So yes, cheers, boys. Godspeed.
Cheers.
Been a pleasure. With that said, it is a week of new beginnings for the Renaissance Men, Jimmy. And I thank you, Jimmy, for joining me this week. All that's left for me to say really is, how the devil are you?
I am pretty good, actually. It's been an emotional one the last few weeks, full of ups and downs in many places. I've been going to the gym, as you know, and my lack of motivation at that gym is second to none. I'll tell you that. I turn up in so many clothes with a big coat, and I stand there cold like this, just making this noise. And someone looked at me and went, "Yeah, I feel like that." I went, "I don't even want to take my coat off. I don't even want to get." But once I've done the exercise, endorphins are going, feeling a lot better. So that's been good. So some ups. But one thing that I've looked at as an up and a down is, as you know, I've been releasing my Star Trek Picard review and breakdowns each week on
Indeed.
Rentrek, part of the Renaissance Men network, and this week was the first time I sort of tried to push it on Facebook on the Star Trek groups, because I've just been like putting it out there, just saying let it build gradually. But this time I thought, screw it, I'll go and stick it on the fan pages, and the fans don't really like podcasts on their group chats. And I got this comment from someone. I did like it, and I went back to them. So this was based on my episode 4. Episode 4 of Picard was not good. It was not good. I'll stand by that.
I will say though, I thought you were balanced in your opinion. I didn't think you particularly overly slated. I thought you were quite balanced, and you gave it due consideration, etc., etc. So yeah, what could they possibly have against what you said?
Well, I'll tell you. So this is from Roll, as in like Roll Dahl. Roll. It's right. It's the back of the front.
Sounds like me vomiting, to be honest. I could get up that sound clip if you like.
No, because Seddon loves it, but I can't stand it. His name is Roald van der Laan, Van der Laan. He's a Dutch fella, I think, because he's in the Netherlands. I'll call him out. He said, "Will not click." So he didn't even watch it.
Yeah.
Kinda tired of angry bearded men ranting
Yeah.
about how bad New Trek is. Maybe watch something you do like. Just a thought.
That's a fair comment, I would say, surely.
Well, why do you have to bring my beard into it? No, but he's right. So many YouTubers have look like me. I've got a real YouTube face.
Yeah.
I finally got a face for something. I did reply to him. I said I watch it because I want to like it. Like, that's why you watch a show. You can't always, it's like our show. Most of them are 10 on 10, but you get the odd one where you go, oh, that was a bit lackluster, So usually the ones that I'm on. Everything before me was 10 on 10. So yeah, I said, look, I'm watching it because I want to love it. So I think angry reviews just for the sake of angry reviews are crap. I agreed with him on that. But when, as you say, if you're giving balance and it's not an angry review, it's pointing out plot holes and mistakes and things. That's just my job as a professional Star Trek critic.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what's happened to me. That's been the high point, getting heckled online.
Mate, it's the most views you've ever had for Rentrek. So
yeah, it's because I pushed it, right?
Yeah, good stuff. No, I love what you do on the Rentrek. Go check it out if you are a fan of Star Trek or watching Picard Series 2. Go watch along with Jimmy. That's basically what it is, isn't it? Watch along with Jimmy.
Yeah, I break it down in a sort of Alan Partridge describing Nobody Does It Better. What Bond film is it? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but no, it is very much like that.
Yeah,
Stop getting Bond wrong.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'd go through it like Partridge would go through Star Trek, and I make stupid noises and just point out inconsistencies, but also point out brilliant bits. As I say, episode 1 and 2, great. 3, 4. There you go. So that's been my week. I've been off for a bit, haven't I? Because I had a few things going on.
You and me both. I've been to Legoland.
I loved Legoland when I went.
I was going to ask, have you been to Legoland? Because I'm not sure if that actually came up in conversation. But how the hell do you wrangle 100 kids around Legoland?
Oh, I was going to say I didn't take 100. Right, yeah. Well, the trick was to go during the pandemic. So, yeah, so I went.
Was it open? Must have been, surely.
No. Yeah, no, it was open. It was open. It was.
That's them over the fence.
What was it? No, so it was during the pandemic, but the kids were back at school, but they were off because they had colds. And they couldn't go in for like a week. And even though we knew it wasn't COVID, we had done tests because we wouldn't subject my eldest to a test because it was horrific trying to get him to do one. We went, we'll just have the week off. And we went to Legoland, and because it was during the school term, hardly anyone there.
What we're saying here, folks, is Jimmy took his kids out of school specifically to get the cheap days at Legoland. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah. And we even left the youngest one somewhere else. So Ali took the old ones. It was great. My wife and my oldest boy went on the log flume, got off, and went straight back on again. That's how quiet it was there.
I imagine if it's like that, I imagine it's like top-notch fun. I mean, it was fun, as Colin says in the chat. Welcome, Colin, by the way. Lovely to have you with us. And hello to Holly. Holly, just a quick message for Holly. Holly, this is now going on Twitch, and we'll be going forward. I know you prefer it on Twitch, so that is a move specifically for you. Look, we cater to your specific tastes here. We care, yeah. So there you go. Legoland, what was I saying? Yes, when we went, Jimmy, it was like half an hour waiting time for each of the rides. So the ratio of ride to waiting wasn't particularly great. It was like you'd wait for 40 minutes and get on a ride for 2 minutes. It wasn't. It's fun, but I don't know quite how much I enjoyed it.
Favorite ride?
It's a bit. You could say it was almost. what's the word? Mundane. A mundane trip, to be honest. No, it's fine. It's good. It's good.
I was waiting for a Lego pun there. I thought it was going to say like leg
no.
luster or.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, trying to think of more puns. No.
Sorry,
no,
cat came in my garden.
It was good. You know, it is. Do you know, funny enough, that was the first theme park I'd actually been to. Believe it or not.
That doesn't surprise me. You ate butter sandwiches at school for 15 years.
Oh, he's not wrong.
No, I'm not lying.
No, he's not lying. And I tried to pass it off as an exotic spread. No, butter, just butter. No, it was fun. It's, you know, I love my Lego, and I actually think the highlight for me was going to the massive Lego shop, which pretty much had every Lego set going in it. It was just, it was amazing.
Yeah. I think the highlight for me was the all the cities made out of Lego. And I enjoyed walking around it pretending to be Godzilla.
Yes. Funny enough, there was so they do like regions of the world as well. They obviously got London and Edinburgh and stuff like that, and really like accurate depictions of the castle and such. But then you go over and there's a Russia section, and I don't know. I just felt a bit uneasy walking through the Russia part of Legoland. To be honest, I kind of want to kick in. Red square, yeah. I just tread on the Kremlin like a I don't know, a vengeful Godzilla again.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
You should have done. You should have done. You should have smashed.
Statement.
Oh, but you know, you've got to feel sorry for the Russians as well at the moment. So you know, you can't take a side, really, can you? Well, you can against Putin, but not against the Russian people because they're being hoodwinked as much as well anyone else.
But yeah, apart from that, Legoland and just doing a few bits and pieces here and there, working and the usual. It's been fairly standard stuff, Jimmy, to be honest. Holly's asking, did we watch the pirate show? No, we didn't.
Is that the new one by Taika Waititi?
What?
Taika Waititi's got a new pirate show out with the guy from the Flight of the Conchords heading it, I think. You know, the New Zealand guy with the ginger hair who's in Welcome to Jumanji. That guy. That's what you'd know him from, Jumanji.
I'm assuming Holly's talking about something at Legoland still. What are you on about?
Oh, yeah, she will be. I thought she was just cracking on with TV and cracking on with the show.
She's cracking on with the show. She wants to move on.
Yeah, she's pushing the notes on us.
Holly, no, I didn't. Assuming you meant Legoland, then no, I didn't see a pirate show. We did the pirate, you know, the big ship that goes up and down like that.
Did you?
Yeah. But there's no show. There was like a cinema playing like a 4D experience, you know, when they pump in smoke.
Ninjago.
Yeah, that was quite cool. But no, I haven't seen a pirate show by Taika Waititi.
I think she's talking about the Lego Pirate Show by Taika Waititi. He directs their like redcoats, the Yellowheads they're called.
Oh dear. So that's pretty much sums up my week, Jimmy, to be honest. Yeah, but good to be back on the show. We've spruced things up a bit, haven't we? As you can see, a new kind of branding and images and backgrounds and such.
Yes. So you say you haven't been busy, but I think people are going to see throughout the show that you have been busy in some ways. What I would say is anyone who saw our opening of our two heads, did anyone notice how slim Stu's head is in that? And jaggedy. I really think you've had that paintbrush slimming you out there.
That's exactly how I am. That's my bone structure I have, you know. Fuck you.
I mean, I've got a round head, I know, but you look very slim. Pointy slim.
It's just respect the process, Jimmy. That's all I'm going to say. So, with that being said, we've got the format's going to follow much the usual format. We've got a few additions here and there, a few tweaks. But up first, I think we should answer a few of our listener questions.
Ask us anything.
No expense spared on that.
It's so good.
Mm.
It's so
Thank you.
bad. It's good.
That's what we're aiming for.
Mm.
So bad it's good. Aesthetic. I
Yeah.
think we've nailed it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's
It's a very
great. I
fine
love it.
line between so bad it's good and so bad it's shit, but I think we tread it just right.
We tread in that shit. Yeah.
Holly has got some updates on the pirate show, and it's not, as we suspected, anything directed by Taika Waititi. It's an outside show at Legoland with jet skis and divers. No, that wasn't
Wow.
on, Holly. I wonder if that was a. They still had a few COVID restrictions, to be honest. Funnily enough, and I wonder if it just wasn't in season for that show, or COVID had played a part. I don't know. But regardless, I'm sorry I missed it.
I didn't see that.
First question is another Williams connection. Isla Thacker, daughter of Holly, she has asked, do we believe that there is more grass or hair? And I'm assuming she meant on Earth or in the universe, but we'll go with on Earth. More grass or hair, Jimmy? What do you think?
Wow, this is like a brain teaser that you'd get asked if you were interviewing for Google or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here it's 50-50, isn't it? So if we take this, if we take this
What?
as our this
We say?
hairs 50-50 in this room, in this virtual room, if we take that as the rest of the world,
Yeah.
I think you've got to do a lot of maths for this. What have you got? 8 billion people. 8 billion? I think it's 8 billion now.
Let's go.
What's the
That sounds
percentage
good.
of what's the percentage of baldies in the world? Do you know?
Shall I find it? Shall I Google this?
Yeah, what percentage is bald? And then we've got to look at square meter coverage of not arid land, arable land. Are they the words? Are they words?
They
even?
sound good. I don't know. We took
Yeah.
geography together. It sounds the
I
Aswan
don't
Dam,
remember that.
stuff like that.
I do remember the Aswan Dam. Aswad.
Yeah.
The band.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of sea covering the world. There's a lot of
Okay.
desert.
But it's here for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Just you may want to consider this in your workings.
My maths, yeah.
By the age of 50 years old, 85% of men are balding.
Right.
That's quite the stat. That's quite a lot, isn't it? 85%.
Yeah.
That can't be right, surely. That is from
Balding.
healthline.com. I wonder if that is like an American stat. I'm not sure, but
Call them up.
I think we need to delve deeper into this. It's the American Hair Loss Association, so that is a predominantly American-based stat.
What a waste of time that is.
Mhm.
No parents are proud of anyone who works there.
No.
Working in hair loss, mum. Buy a wig. I've got to go with grass. I'm going to go with grass because where people live, there needs to be grass, and there's more land than there is people.
Yeah,
but there are cities. But it's got to be grass.
I mean, purely looking in a mirror, I've got to side with the grass because just my own personal perception of hair is greatly diminished. So I don't really have much concept of hair outside of my own personal realm. So I think I'd go grass. I think you're right. I think although the planet is what, like 70% water, isn't it?
Yes. But people don't live on the water.
Well, yeah.
So what I'm saying is the people live in the grassy areas mostly, don't they? Well, they mostly live in cities, I guess.
Well, you got to factor in AstroTurf. A lot of people have lazy bastards have AstroTurf now, don't they? I bet you've got AstroTurf, haven't you?
I want AstroTurf. I desperately want it, but
it.
no, I've just got long lawn.
You could just hoover up the fox poos, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's what I've got. Long lawn with fox shit. There's cities. Are there more cities in England than there is countryside?
No, surely there's more countryside. Surely. Yeah. And I guess if we extrapolate that across the world, then surely it's got to be
Let's.
more. Fuck it, grass.
Grass.
Yeah,
Next
grass.
question.
All right, this is a doozy. This is from someone called Emma Carr. There she is. I love this. She's asked, what film most shaped who you are and affected your life?
Yeah.
Quite deep, this one.
Yes, she asked
Anyway.
this one.
What brought this up?
We were just talking about films and stuff, and films we watch when we were children, films that our favourites and whatnot, and then spoke about that, and then she said that would be a good question for the show. I said it would. I popped it over to you. Hers were Rocky Horror Picture Show and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which shows that opened her mind up to how you don't have to conform. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You can be your own thing.
No, like that. That's those
I am
films
what
are
I
all
am.
about, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And you could watch that and it could do nothing to you, or you could watch that and go, hell yeah, I'm gonna wear now or whatever. I'm gonna wear a dress.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's interesting. Almost like this question does have a lot about, for me, it has connotations about like almost finding yourself and rebelling, like finding like that rebellious spirit in you. Like what kind of films awaken that in you?
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of how I looked at it. I mean, I've got a couple.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
My first one is Battleship Potemkin.
Battleship with Rihanna.
Battleship Potemkin, the Sergei Eisenstein, like was it 1925 Soviet silent drama, all about like Bolshevik revolution stuff. It kind of awakened my political leanings in a strange way, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, almost very kind of starting to lean. I don't know if you had this when you went to uni. It was, you get your mind open to a lot of things and a lot of other like political things and stuff, and you know, you start to form your own opinions and you start to side certain ways politically. And I think just watching this film aligned with the time in my life that it happened, and just
how old were you? 3?
No, I went to uni late actually. I went God, how old was I? 20, I think it's 26. I went in the end. And you know, I hadn't really considered like my political viewpoint or anything like that to a great extent. Those days you kind of just voted the way your dad voted, you know, but that kind of changes as you learn and grow up and form your own opinion. And this film for me kind of really, it's a very political film. You know, it's probably quite prevalent today. You know, the Odessa Steppe scene. Odessa is in Ukraine now, so it's quite a prominent film looking back on it now. But yeah, really kind of formed my way of thinking, like more left wing and more socialist in a way, kind of siding with the Bolsheviks and that, and just it's crazy how films can do that to you and have can turn these and affect your way of thinking, whether it's like a political way of thinking or you know just how you look at certain aspects of life. It's film is very powerful. You know, art is very powerful, I think.
Yeah. What was your other one?
My other one was Lost in Translation.
Right.
Lost in Translation. And that was that's more of a personal one, and that's kind of, I watched that before. Watching that kind of made me want to do something a bit more with my life. Like at the time when I watched that, I was really into my film, but I really wanted to like progress that and do something more with it. And that inspired me watching that film and seeing just how an impactful a film you can make with such a simple story, just through like shot selection or like just how the script is, or just like acting performances, because it's so well acted by Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. That it just kind of opened my eyes to how a film can really be impactful, but also within reach. So that's kind of inspired me to go off to uni and do film studies. So yeah, it affected me quite a bit, that film. Love it.
Good
Mm.
good answer. Two good answers there. I
You're gonna say Die Hard or something like that.
No, that's later on. No, well, honestly, when I was chatting with it to the wife, I did actually say like the Rocky films, and in particular Rocky 4, which seems, could seem silly because it is quite heightened and whatnot, but again, like the overcoming adversity, sort
Yeah,
of, working hard, the even like the training montage can give you that
trainings and
motivation.
montages.
Yeah, that can give you that motivation to go, yeah, like
Yeah.
I can do more. I can do more. And the bit
Mhm.
at the end with the where all the Russians, all about Russia tonight for some
Isn't
reason.
it?
The Russians are cheering for Rocky, and if I can change, you can change, and Gorbachev he's furious. He's furious man at the end, isn't he? But yeah, that and the overcoming odds. I think that is certainly something that sticks with me. And if ever I hear the music, it can motivate me to work harder, whether it is running or whether it is just in life, can push you a bit. So that was a film I watched a lot. My nan used to rent that out from Blogsy's video store. Yeah. So I'd go with Rocky 4.
Nice. It doesn't inspire you enough to want to go down the gym and actively work out, though, does it? You do give out your big sigh as you go down there.
Just a bloody good point. And when I'm there next week,
Put it on, put it on
I'm
in the
gonna pop it
burning
on in
heart.
the
Whatever.
yeah, in the car as I drive down
Yeah.
there like that. In the burning heart.
Go out for
That
a
was
jog in
good.
the snow.
Yeah, I also like Rocky 4 because you've got the emotional bit with obviously we lose Apollo,
Mm.
and then Apollo's trainer takes over. A lot of like coming together to beat the odds. Yeah, I love it. Brilliant. That has sort of affected me, but not as deeply as some things. With yourself or with my wife, but that's me.
Yeah, that's good. It's giving you a good life ethic, work ethic, isn't it? Good
Yeah.
old Sly Stallone. Yeah, good moral outlook. Does Rocky 4 beating the Soviet scum
Yeah.
through physical aggression?
Yeah, they were juicing back then as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
They'll never stop.
No. Good questions. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Isla. Keep them coming on Twitter or Facebook. We'll put out a post each week, and you can submit your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. So yeah, always love that section because it brings out some good and interesting discussion from us most of the time.
Well, also,
I made that sound like that wasn't an interesting discussion we just had. So sorry, it was.
No, I think it was interesting. Well,
Good.
and also I got answers from someone else, didn't I, Stu?
Oh, you did. Yes. I'm intrigued by this because you say you've got some celebrity contacts, and I don't quite believe you. I know you do like a name drop, as we've learned on this show over the years.
Sure.
But go on then. Who is it?
Well, this is I mean, he says his own name in it, so I don't have to. But I'll play it for you because I asked a question
No.
to a very popular celebrity,
Yep.
close personal friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. It is me, Brian Blessed. And the one film that completely changed my life was when I first viewed Mike Leigh's tremendous film, Nuts, in May. I mean, I didn't have a fucking clue what it was about. I still don't. But every May, I only survive on nuts. Any kind of nut. Walnut, brazil nut, peanut, a coconut. So, every single May since I saw the film, I only ever consume nutty nuts.
There we go. Brian Blessed there.
Brian Blessed.
Affected his life. Nuts in May.
Personal friend of the show now, I would say. Can we have? Should we?
Yeah.
We probably shouldn't advertise that, should we? But no. Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Hopefully, we hear more from him in the future. Brilliant, brilliant. Thanks, Jimmy, for that, bringing that along.
That's fine.
Good old Brian.
Very
I've
easy.
I've never heard of the film he was on about.
Nuts in May. Oh, it's a good film. You'd like it. You'd really like it,
Right.
Stu. It's a very simple film. It's
What are
a
you
Mike
saying?
Leigh film.
Fuck you.
Oh, when I mean simple, it's
Oh, no.
it's not a big spectacle.
Okay.
You know, it's well, I say real people. There's some good characters. Mike Leigh. I don't know if you've seen any of his films, but it's mostly
so.
improvisation in his movies. So he sets out the scene and they improvise things. Nuts in May is about this couple that go, they're just sort of camping. And I tell you, I remember seeing a stage version of it when I was at drama school, and it was really, really good. But it's a great, just simple little stories, simple little plot. It's lovely, and just easy, quaint film to watch on a. When would be a good time to watch it? Maybe a Wednesday evening.
Oh, very specific. I like it. Nice. Nuts in May, a Mike Leigh joint. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Isla, and thank you, Emma. Thanks all. Right, we're going to move on now, Jimmy, to our next segment. Brace yourself. That is the Week in Geek.
The Week in.
Yeah. That's me.
That's so good.
My audition for Dalek #1.
Is that your voice?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had asked a real Dalek to do that.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah. I don't have the same celebrity contacts as you, Jimmy, I'm afraid. Sadly.
You don't know Daleks.
No. I'm assuming.
Can you play it again?
Of course I can. For those that missed it, the Week in Geek.
The Week in Geek.
There we go.
Oh god, production values going through the roof.
We do have DRB on some other audio stings, but I'm quite tempted just to leave the Week in Geek as it is.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
It is. It's become a personal favourite of mine. So there we go. The Week in Geek. Jimmy, there's only one place we can start, isn't there? Let's talk about it. The slap. Heard around the world from Sunday night at the Oscars. Do we want to watch it? I think we've seen it all. We've seen it all week, haven't we? Do I?
I'm talking because I kind of hate it now. Oh look, Colin Doolan there. That Dalek was great fun.
Thanks, Colin. That Dalek you mean is me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of hate it. I kind of hate the video, but
we won't show it. We don't have to. It's
no, but I feel we need to if we're talking about it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm saying this. I'm assuming I've got it all keyed up.
Well, don't worry. We're talking about Will Smith, and in terms of Uncle Phil, I will Uncle Phil as you find the clip. But do you know what I mean about? It's not I'm sick of it. It's just I'm every time I watch it, I'm a bit sad. It makes me a bit sad.
Yeah. What was your reaction when you woke up on Monday morning and I was flickering through my Twitter feed and I just, what's going on? It looks like he pushed him in the stills, and then I watched the video and it's like, what's going on? But yeah, it's very odd. I'm going to play it, but I'm not going to play the sound because obviously there's some swearing and stuff in it, and we might get a bit of echo, etc. So we'll just have it playing while we chat about it. Chris Rock comes on to present one of the lesser, not known, but the one of the Oscars that nobody particularly really cares about. The documentary. That's probably unfair for me to say. I do apologise for any documentarians watching, but he comes on to present the Oscar for Best Documentary and starts to go in on a G.I. Jane joke on Jada Pinkett Smith because she's got alopecia. Has shaved her head Will takes umbrage to this, and obviously twats Chris Rock across the face live on national world TV. Chris Rock did well, didn't he? I thought, to kind of keep himself composed. And then he goes off, kind of, stop talking about my wife. I'm paraphrasing. And then,
I can't
Chris
talk
Rock
at
kind
the
of,
moment because I'm echoing.
oh, are you? Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy. You're not.
Take
You're
us
not.
out.
Okay, I've paused it anyway.
But we had the video there for anyone who hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
But I remember where I was. Yeah, when I first saw it, I woke up and first thing I saw was look. This was what happened after the cameras were turned off with Will Smith, and I was like, "What's this?" And I clicked on that, and it was just. I was like, "What's Will Smith done?" I was like, "Will Smith," and then the video, and then watched it, and at first, you see him, you hear the joke. What a dated joke! Like, when did G.I. Jane come out? 1994 or something?
97. I looked this up because I thought, who's making G.I. Jane jokes? I mean, come on, Chris Rock about
Yeah, that's really, really dated joke. But then he walks up and sort of gives him this slap, and at first you're like, oh, it's a work wrestling term there. Obviously, it's fake, But then obviously what Will says afterwards, you're like, oh, and then the worst bit I think was actually Chris stumbling his words afterwards. Because the slap, he sort of, all right, he styled out, but when he starts stumbling his words afterwards, because probably embarrassed, I think, more than anything, right? I was like, oh, poor Chris.
But we'll get onto the reaction and some of the aftermath in a short while. But personal opinion, I'm genuinely interested to think, what do you think Will Smith was in the right? Do you think he was bang out of order? Pardon the pun. What were your? Did you have like an initial thought, and then has that changed? I'm just interested to see what your thoughts are on how it played out.
Well, there's so many layers to it. That's the problem. It's not that simple. Like if it was, say, just a standard person. I don't like. Let's say it's because didn't Naomi Campbell slap someone at an award ceremony once? I'm sure something happened like that.
I don't remember. Sounds like something she'd do.
Yeah, it does, right? Let's say it's Naomi Campbell and someone makes a joke about models, how they're thick or some shit like that, some useless gag like that. And she gets up and slaps them. You'd go, fine, cool, whatever. A model got given a bit of shit, and it's a woman slapping a chap, deserves a fucking slap for being a prat. But because of the amount of layers to it, like Will and his wife and their issues, I think it's documented that they've got an open relationship and he's fine with it, but he doesn't seem fine with it. Her having, as you say, alopecia. So that's something that a lot of people with alopecia are coming out, and saying, yeah, it's terrifying. It's a horrible thing we've got, so you shouldn't mock it.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. You're prepared. I
shared that a bit early.
I'm loving it. I don't know if there's been any background with Chris and his wife. There's also talk about like women with black women's hair is a subject on its own to many people with it, with connotations of racism in it, with like loads of things. I saw someone as well. There was a woman, I can't remember who it was. She was there at the Oscars, famous woman. And she was saying back in the day when G.I. Jane came out, if it was used as a slur, calling someone a lesbian. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
So you start unraveling all these layers and going, I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like everyone was a loser. All three of them, really. It was quite a sad state of affairs for everyone.
It's pure car crash telly, wasn't it? It's one of those moments that will go down in infamy.
Well, Stu, you as a white bald man, do you think you can comment on on
Alopecia
this.
issues.
Alopecia
Um,
issues within the black community. As a
I
white
think
bald
so.
man, can
I
you
think so.
comment on that?
Yeah. Why not? No, obviously, I wouldn't like to pass
I don't
anybody
want to, thank
from.
you.
But no, I think you're bang on when you say it's just a really sad situation around. It was a shit joke. Let's be honest. It wasn't a great joke in the first place. So you're looking at Chris Rock, who is usually awesome, just telling a really
Yeah.
bad joke. It's like, oh, okay, he's clearly going into some kind of career decline. I think, incidentally, tickets for his tour sales have risen by 25% this past week. I read
Oh,
somewhere.
right.
So swings and roundabouts. It's insensitive in its. I'm not so particularly pent up about that, because I think, if you're telling comedy and jokes, I think you get a certain pass for the kind of material that you can use. I think, anyway, that's just a personal opinion. And I think the way that Will Smith reacted was atrocious. So I think, all in all, it's just poor form all round, really. But yeah, great TV, great TV.
Yeah, I mean, it's made people talk about the Oscars,
Well, quite.
which they needed. But I wonder when they wrote the joke, because I guess they go, okay, who's going to be there? Who's going to be in the audience? Oh, Jada Pinkett Smith's going to be there.
I know.
Oh, she shaved her head. Like, I don't know. When do you come up with that joke? It's.
Perhaps he was just watching G.I. Jane. Literally was. I know. Got a fucking great joke.
Backstage.
Yeah.
Is it free on Prime at the moment or something? But that's like the sort
Should
of
be.
joke. If you were just doing a live set and she heckled, and you go, "All right, G.I. Jane, calm down," like, and even then it would be like an old reference, but
Yeah.
but still, I mean, and did he know? Apparently, she's been talking about having alopecia for years, and there's like not an advocate for it, an advocate, against it. So did he know? I don't know. It's really, really complicated.
Colin says, and he does. Chris Rock took the slap very well, very well.
Yeah.
He kind of staggered a little bit, but then he just in composure afterwards. The fact he didn't kind of then go back at Will Smith and had, I don't know, it felt like he was too embarrassed. Well, that's what it felt like anyway. It came across, he was a bit embarrassed about the whole situation.
And I think, like, if it would have just been the slap and he would have gone back to his chair and Chris would have gone, I just got slapped by Will Smith, it could have been passed off as half joke, half don't talk about my wife. But because of what Will says afterwards, that's when it gets really awkward. The slap, I don't think the slap's the worst bit. It's what he says afterwards where you go,
yeah, it's the
impassioned.
No, Will.
Yeah, never seen him act so good.
But as with all of these types of like massive water cooler moments on TV, in come the social media hilarious replies and memes and stuff. We've stayed away from the memes because we clearly learned we don't know what a meme is over the past few months of doing the show. We do, but we do have a smattering of the kind of social media celebrity reaction that I'm going to bring up now. Slightly different to the way we planned it, Jimmy, only because I don't want you to echo. So we're not going to have our faces. So we'll just have to. Any personal favourites? I like Conan O'Brien's. That was good. Just saw the Will Smith slap. Anyone have a late night show I can borrow just for tomorrow?
Yeah.
The late night shows. Yeah, exactly. They had a field day. There's a good video, I think, from Entertainment Tonight that does a good roundup of like all the late night TV shows reactions and some of the material they got from it. That was quite good. Any highlights here for you, Jimmy?
Yeah, well, as you know, I saw Spider-Man the other week and I was a big fan. So the Andrew Garfield texting the other Peter Parkers to see if Will Smith slapped Chris Rock in their universe too. I did like that. I did like that.
Do you know, I thought of this tweet that you just highlighted because there's been some subsequent video come out, mobile phone footage from someone who's like sat behind Jada and Will. I don't know who it was. Yeah, but a few rows back. And it kind of just got me thinking of Andrew here, who's clearly on his mobile phone, but looks like he's secretly filming the situation. I wonder if it came from him. I'd like to think it did.
What's this? And that's how we do. Oh yeah, his son wrote, and that's how we do it on his tweet. Now that one, I like. if I put myself in those shoes, if I'm there at the Oscars with my mum and dad, and someone gave my mum shit and she had alopecia, and my dad got up and slapped him, I'd say the same thing. I'd be like, fucking damn right, disrespecting my mum. I'd be well up for that. So another thing with this is I think it's where you are in the story, how you react to it. Like, it's very easy for people on the outside to comment, but if you're on the actual inside, if you've watched your mum cry at night or something because of her alopecia for a year,
That's true.
someone says something.
Yeah, it affects you on a more personal level, doesn't it? And you can, at that point, I think you sympathise with what Will does. Just going back here, I thought Will Smith's marriage open to everything except jokes.
That is a good one.
Some great material. Trevor Noah responding, saying, "What WTAF? That wasn't scripted." That was the great debate, wasn't it? Throughout the week, was it scripted? Wasn't it scripted? There's people who had analysed video and doctored it so it looked like Chris Rock had some kind of tape on his face to protect his face, so that kind of stoked the fires of conspiracy. So it's I think it's quite clearly the thing that steers it away from being fake for me is the reaction of Will Smith and how he then carries on with his tirade after he sits down.
And Chris afterwards with bubbling his burbling his lines about the documentary, doesn't he? He goes, "This is best Oscar for documentary. I mean, best." I just got whacked out.
It's important to mention, as you say, Jimmy, that Nathan Z here. Will Smith smacked an MF and won an Oscar 10 minutes later. He won the Best Actor Oscar in the same evening. But the slap is what we're talking about.
Yes, no one cares that he won the Oscar, do they? This is what because really the Oscars are a load of shit, aren't they?
Well, yeah, it's very much patting each other on the back, isn't it? It's not for me, I have to say. I used to be well into who won the Oscars and really getting into it and supporting who I want to win, but you just learn that it's all just a big marketing push, and at the end of the day, who really cares? It's just a means to promote your film for a little bit longer, get those Oscar number thing, strip line at the top of your DVD or whatever it is. And
it's funny because I'm a hypocrite. If I was acting, I went to drama school as I've mentioned a good few times already this evening on this evening show. If I was an actor, I'd want to win an Oscar. If I was invited to the Oscars, I'd bloody go, and I'd take my $14,000 gift basket. Is that what they got?
Do they? No.
Yeah, Google that. I'm sure it's like 14 grand's worth of booty in a gift bag. Everyone gets. I would take that like mad, and I would go and I'd enjoy myself, and I'd drink all the free drink, and I'd slap Chris Rock, and I'd do everything that the Oscars would offer me. But I think that's all. It's really disgusting. I think it's gross.
It's all very filthy, isn't it? The whole awards scene is really not as they don't have the same class as the Stiffies, do they?
No, no, not at all.
Brew awards,
and we give out 14p goodie bags of penny sweets to our guests
if you're lucky.
Did you look up how much they get?
I'm checking now. Oscars goodie bag. I thought that was a suitable search term.
Yeah.
What's in the 2022 Oscars gift bag worth $100,000?
Oh shit! I was way off with 14,000. $100,000.
Apparently so, Jimbo.
And how many get? Does everyone gets one? Everyone who's there? Surely not everyone. Surely not best documentary.
Let's have a look. Apparently you get you get a piece of land in Scotland. Apparently.
No. So you can be a lord. That's what that is, isn't it? So you can classify yourself as a lord.
This
or a
story
lady.
was written prior to April Fool's Day, because I do realise it is April Fool's Day. But according to the Rob report, the Oscar nominees will receive the plot of land through Highland titles, which allows recipients to directly contribute to the establishment of nature reserves in the country.
And they get a title.
Yes, the added benefit of becoming a laird, lord, or lady of Glencoe.
But you can do that for about £100. So what's the other 999,000 gone on?
It doesn't say. Perhaps it's a big ruse. It's like when you buy a plot on the moon, isn't it? Yeah, you own that. You own that stuff.
No, they get a lot. I don't know if everyone gets this goodie bag, but I think a lot of them do.
Here we go.
Oh.
As well as the titles, they get a year's supply of cosmetic brand Oxygenating Foundation, and a box of products from skincare brand Biro, worth more than $365. Well, that's still, that's still like there's still a shortfall there, isn't there? Liposuction treatment. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
I want in.
I know, right?
Gifts. Manuka honey posh pretzels. Mineral
Manuka
water.
honey is that really expensive honey, isn't it?
Right, yeah, there we go. So you get a whole.
I mean, we're not $100,000 yet.
Nah. I want like a PS5 or something.
Well, I think in the past there's been tablets in there, and not like Vicodin, like like iPads and all of this sort of stuff. I think they get a monthly subscription to Jelly of the Month Club, along with a T-shirt. I don't know. Someone told me that. But yeah, so I would lap it up. But at the moment, there is a war going on where I go into the school and stick £5 in a bucket to go to Kids for Ukraine. $100,000 each. Like,
yeah, liposuction, free liposuction,
and loads of them won't use that.
Yeah,
like as if like Gwyneth Paltrow is going to use that. Not that she was there; she couldn't get him for love nor money.
Speaking of actors that have kind of fell a few pegs as of late, Jimmy, you come to me with a story about Ezra Miller. What's it?
I forgot this story. I thought he was going to go on to the other one. I was like,
oh, no.
It's a bit harsh.
No, I know what you're thinking. No. Well, I could have segued either way there, couldn't I? But no, I went with Ezra Miller.
Miller.
He's been charged with disorderly conduct and harassment after an alleged bar incident. What's he been doing?
Well, Ezra Miller has always been a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, it's good we're talking about him because not only does it fall into this celebrity culture we're talking about, but also he plays the Flash in the DC movie universe.
Yeah.
I like him as an actor. I think he's very good. There's a film called Perks of Being a Wallflower. Have you seen that?
Is that with
Emma Watson?
Yeah, Hermione
Granger.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, no, but I know of it.
Oh,
any good?
Good film. Yeah, really good film. Really nice little independent film. Lovely. But Ezra Miller is a fucking oddball, and he's been arrested for attacking some people doing karaoke. Now, we've all wanted to do that.
He's lived the dream.
Actually, I don't know if I have wanted to do it because I love karaoke, as you can imagine.
Me too. Oh, mate, karaoke evening. Yes, that's what we do.
Well, I went to drama school, so I learned how to sing a tiny bit. One of my favourite nights out in London was we'd go to a place where they had rockaoke, where you'd sing with a live band. So you'd have the lyrics up, and then you sing with an actual band. Brilliant fun. But he got annoyed, and I think he whacked the person singing.
Yeah, I've got the report from the Hawaii Police Department claims the Justice League star had become agitated while patrons at the bar began singing karaoke, after which they began yelling obscenities and at one point grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman. The actor allegedly then lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts, like Eric Bristow.
Oh, hang on. No, he launched at a man playing darts.
Apparently so.
I thought he launched himself like a dart at a man. I don't know. He thinks he's the Flash, clearly.
Treble 20. According to the police report, the bar owner had asked Ezra to calm down several times to no avail. He was subsequently arrested shortly after midnight on Monday morning, after which the actor paid their bail of $500 and was released.
$500.
Yeah. It took place on the same night as the Oscars, so it was an eventful night, wasn't it?
And he won an Oscar that night.
Oh, he
didn't
did. Yes. The Oscars cheer moment.
Yeah, bullshit.
What the fuck that means, God knows, but
the moment in films that the audience cheered at. That's it, right? Dreadful. Yeah, and he won that for his Flash. It's not even that good in the Justice League, that moment. I don't know why he won that, but I guess he was celebrating that. I wonder what the person was singing on the karaoke. Perhaps they were singing Flash. Oh, and just kept doing the mic to him. That would have annoyed him, wouldn't it?
That would have been annoying. Yeah. Fuck off. No.
$500 bow to him.
But it's got form, isn't he, Jimmy?
Well, this is there's precedence for this. He in 2020.
I'm keying it up.
A fan, I'll keep going. A fan was trying to talk to him, and I think eventually got on his nerves. And this was a woman or a young lady, and he's very physical with her. I think we've got the video, and I knew nothing about this. I found this video probably about 6 months ago.
Okay, so Ezra Miller choking and slamming fangirl. The Flash goes full crazy. Let's play it.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
Whoa, bro.
Fight? You want to learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
Jeez, sounds hot.
Whoa, bro.
Fight?
He's wearing flip-flops, for God's sake.
Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
That's not helpful. Zooming in for comedy effect.
Whoa, bro.
Fight?
Right, we've seen it enough, Stu.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
Isn't that bizarre?
Very much so. I mean, what do we know? What
starting an online store is easier.
Sorry, close that down. Do we know what kind of instigated that?
What could instigate you to put your hand around a woman's neck and put her to the ground?
I know. Well, like I say, he almost felt like he was slow, or sounded like he was slow in his. I don't like to speculate, to be honest, but yeah, he didn't look.
We must.
Right. I mean, he had his flip flops on. He was clearly not mentally all there. Surely.
Who
wears
Ezra?
flip flops? Yeah.
Have you not seen Ezra go out dressed as Toad from Mario Kart?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Google it.
Straight to Google.
Now. He was at a what event was he at? It might have been like a Comic Con or something where all of the cast of, I think that the Fantastic Beast movie. Yeah, it's not, and it's not even Toad. It's like a female version of Toad.
It's Toadette. Yeah, he's gone as Toadette. I've got to share this. Bear with me, viewers. Bear with me.
Yeah. Yeah. When he did that, I was really behind him. I was like, he don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I love
go,
that.
Ezra. Oh, yeah.
Go. And then the next thing I see him putting a woman on the floor, I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then he's got to use his liposuction voucher to get himself out of prison for attacking karaoke people. I don't know. I hate it when people who are part of film franchises I enjoy get in trouble because, you know,
it ruins your enjoyment.
Well, we've lost depth from the Fantastic Beasts movies, and I'm happy with Mads Mikkelsen. I would have been happier with Mads from the start, but you know, if they lose Ezra now as well, you know.
Speaking of actors, we're losing from the industry.
Yes, segue.
Bruce Willis, sadly, this week has called time in his acting career. This was very sad. The guy is now what is the? I've never heard of this. Aphasia, APHASIA. It's a cognitive disease where I think it affects like his language, his ability to. I don't know. His ability to talk, or I'm not entirely sure.
Know.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. There's a link to aphasia here. Let's look.
Let's get detailed.
I
Well,
think we need to.
I'll just say something whilst you're looking that up.
Got it. I don't want to move on it.
The fact is, over the last good few years, Bruce Willis has been doing like these straight to DVD movies, these god awful movies, where he's probably on set for about a day or two. They film all his bits, and then they'll use someone from behind. They'll use like Stu to film him in other scenes. So from behind, oh Stu, you've missed out. That's Stu, that really looked like Bruce Willis. That was really good. You've missed out on a whole career there. He's gone now.
His stunt head.
But that's what they would do, and they'd have Bruce for a day, but obviously they can stick his name on the film, stick his picture on it, and make a bit of money from it. And people go, "Oh, Bruce Willis," and watch it, and it's just awful. But it's been pointed out in a lot of these films that he's wearing an earpiece.
Really?
Yeah, like
okay.
right in his ear, pink, skin color, his skin colored earpiece. And I watched a video on it the other day. By the guys at Red Letter Media, who I watch a lot of, and they're just ripping the piss because this was before this was known, and they were taking the piss saying he's just trying to make money so he can retire. He turns up, he doesn't even learn his lines. These are for people to tell his
right. So feeding in the lines through the earpiece.
Yeah, and on some of the films, you can tell, you can hear it, like you can hear he doesn't know the script. You can hear he probably doesn't know what's going on in the scene. He's just getting told a line and he's just saying it.
Yeah.
And they're taking the piss out of it. And then they did a follow-up video going, "Oh, we've been informed that this is the case, that he's unwell and maybe he actually needs to be told his lines. He wasn't just being lazy." So yeah, he's called it a day.
He has, as a follow-up, aphasia is the full or partial loss of the ability to use or understand language. About 350,000 people, it's a lot, isn't it, in the UK have it. Most of those have had a stroke, but it can be caused by a brain tumour, a head injury, MS, or other neurological conditions.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously that's going to affect his ability to act and read scripts and project scripts as well, and give a performance. So sadly he has called time on his career, but we felt, which is desperately sad for him and his family, and they've requested to be, they've said it's a very difficult decision that they've had to make, and requested peace at this time and just for them to be left alone and to deal with it and get through it. But it got me thinking about Bruce Willis as an actor, and how much I enjoyed a lot of the stuff he's been in. Very much, growing up, we of a similar age, that he was like the action hero, wasn't he, for a period, and he has done some great stuff, and he, at times he has been able to kind of pivot on his career as well. When he started doing like Sixth Sense and in more dramatic roles, he kind of. First, he was a comedic actor, semi-comedic actor with like Moonlighting and stuff. Then he transitioned to full-on white vest action hero in the Die Hard films. Then he, almost became an indie darling when he's doing like Wes Anderson stuff. And then he, did more dramatic roles. And yeah, he's had a really kind of full and diverse career, more than you would expect, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And the story from him from Moonlighting, a comedy TV show, right? With Sybil Shepherd. Sybil Shepherd. To Die Hard is an incredible story. And there's the Die Hard documentary on Netflix, isn't there? The movies that made us, and it documents that, and it's brilliant because no one wanted him for Die Hard. No one wanted this comedy actor for Die Hard, and they asked everyone. Stallone, Arnie, Burt Reynolds, Clint Eastwood. They had to ask Frank Sinatra famously first because he did the prequel to Die Hard.
I'm sorry, what?
So there's
what?
Frank Sinatra did a film called something I can't remember, but he's this cop character. It was based on a book, and then there's a sequel to that book, which is what was made into Die Hard.
Wow, did not know that, Jimmy.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra had it in his contract that if they ever did a sequel, he got first pickings.
No fucking
Played a
way.
part. The time they did
Wow.
the film, the time they were starting to do the film, Frank was 70, and but they had to legally go, "Do you want to do this?" And luckily, he said no.
Wow. Is that in this documentary?
Yeah,
'Cause I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen the Die Hard one.
that's a good one. It's a good one.
Wait, it sounds it.
And then with Bruce Willis, his agent hooked him up with with going for this job, and they were like, we could use him, I guess. And his agent said, look, this is a massive risk for Bruce Willis. It wasn't really. It was more of a risk for the film studio using this comedic actor. But they went, this is a massive risk for him and his career because he's known as a comedic actor and he's going to do this.
Yeah.
So he wants, I think it was $10 million. And they agreed because of the risk to Bruce Willis's career. And overnight, he became the highest paid film actor with like never doing this sort of stuff. He became the highest paid actor in Hollywood because of that, because his agent being fucking switched on. But yeah, and as you say, then he went on to do so many different films, and so many. Pulp Fiction, Looper, Unbreakable. I was thinking Glass only came out last year, didn't it?
It wasn't long ago. I think it might have been the year before last. I think possibly it wasn't. It hasn't been long though.
And he was still doing it there, so he must have gone quite downhill over the last 2 years, I guess.
It's just been a bit of a decline for him. Yeah, I wonder if something happened behind the scenes. Who knows? I don't know, but it is sad. But it's at moments like this that he's going out. He's not going out dead, which a lot of actors tend to do. And he can look back and reflect on his career, and it's a great career. Some amazing films in there. Some of my all-time favourites. The Die Hards, Die Hard with Vengeance being the best of. I hasten to add.
I love Die Hard with Vengeance.
Yeah, it's my favourite, and I'm not sure if it's because of Samuel L. Jackson or just the way that they took John McClane's character. Just like is he's a husk of a man, isn't he, in that film?
Well, interestingly enough, that wasn't a Die Hard script originally. Die Hard with Vengeance.
No way, Jimmy! You're bringing the bombs.
I'm bringing
today.
It was a script called Simon Says that had gone round. I think had gone round Hollywood. Just hanging about like a lot of scripts do. And then they're like, "Oh, we want to make a new Die Hard film," and they read that and was like, if this character was John McClane and we make him the brother of Hans Gruber, and this will work. And that's what they did. I love Die Hard with Vengeance. I think Die Hard, the first one, is probably a better film. Like Die Hard's a perfect film. It's perfect, the first one.
Yeah, I do think with Vengeance does peter out somewhat, like the third act a little bit.
Yeah, but it's very fun. Die Hard with Vengeance, isn't it?
Oh yeah, fun. I love the setting as well. I just like a romp around New York City.
Yeah.
It's great,
and
great fun.
Samuel Jackson's great, isn't he?
Yeah, perfect foil.
What's your favourite Bruce Willis film, Stu? And I can't believe we've missed out that you look like him from behind for so long.
So are we talking outside of Die Hard? Because I think surely everyone's is Die Hard. Okay, my favourite Bruce Willis film minus Die Hard, the Die Hard franchise, we should say, I guess. I really liked Looper, actually. I really liked Looper. I thought that was smart, interesting in, the narrative, the way it told its narrative, and, its use of time and that kind of stuff. That was a really entertaining, good film. Fifth Element, I think, is quite good as well.
Yes, that's a cracker.
I'm not a massive... oh God, who directed? Is it Luc Besson? Is that Luc Besson? Yeah, I'm not a massive Luc Besson fan, but there's something about that film which I really like. The sci-fi setting, it's just very extravagant and just something that, I don't know, just hits with me. I really like that one. God, I really like the Unbreakable franchise. I really do like that. I liked Glass. I know it got a bit of a padding, but I really enjoyed both. Unbreakable, Split. Is it Split? It is Split, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. I thought they were all 3 good films, but for me, Looper, I think it would have to be Looper.
Yeah, I liked
Great
Glass
stuff.
and up till the end where we were cheated on a big showdown between Bruce and McAvoy, and Bruce just spoilers. Bruce just got put down, didn't he? And it was like, where's our big fight? Like, that's not what we wanted. So that was a bit disappointing. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. Love Unbreakable. Yeah, favorite Bruce film. I've probably got to go Pulp Fiction. I mean, is that a Bruce film? You got a lot of other good characters in it, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
maybe.
I don't know. I guess yes, because he's in it, and he does star in one of the segments as such, doesn't he? So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, we'll give you
I
that.
can have that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what is a fun Bruce film. Death Becomes Her.
I've never seen it. Never
Oh,
seen
it's
it.
great. It's great fun.
It's camp as fuck. Is it camp as it looks?
Oh, no, it's not that camp. But
Is it
Bruce
not?
is like a wet husband. So it's really
Okay.
interesting watching him play this sap of a husband. I think he's Meryl Streep's husband now, but I think he was Goldie Hawn's husband previously. And he's a real wet blanket, and it's funny seeing him go back to those comedy roots. There was also a film that I used to love as a youngster called Blind Date.
Blind Date.
He goes on a date with, who is it? It might be Daryl Hannah. And basically it's just a date from hell. Like everything just goes wrong. I used to quite enjoy that as a youngster. That was a fun film. It's funny, when you were kids, you just watched whatever film you could get hold of, didn't you? Like, why am I watching Blind Date as a 8-year-old boy? But I remember enjoying it quite a lot.
Yeah, that was Blind Date was 87, so that was kind of peak Moonlighting. That's like right slap bang in the middle of Moonlighting. Kim Basinger and Bruce Willis.
Oh, it's Basinger, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it, I was going to say Basinger, and I said Daryl Hannah. Forgive me.
Well, yeah, I can see where you made the mistake, but yeah, 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good, but I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. When we start this conversation, he has done some toot in the last few years. There's not much that stands out apart from Looper, and to a lesser extent Glass. He was in an episode of Orville. It says it.
Oh, really? I haven't seen
Yeah,
that one. Maybe it's the new series.
2019. This was the episode called Deflectors.
Well,
it was a voice credit, so it was probably an alien, wasn't he?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, so yeah, he's sad to see him go, but he does leave a hell of a legacy, doesn't he? Let's be honest.
Not mad.
If you want to chat, let us know your favourite Die Hard films. We'll chuck them in. We'll chuck them on the screen.
Favorite Bruce Willis film.
Favorite Bruce Willis films that aren't Die Hard. Sorry, I got my tongue twisted there. Right, I'm going to switch over to some just a few gaming bits, a few gaming news stories. For you, Jimmy, really, that I wanted to bring in for you, because I know you're a VR fan, and you do have the Meta Quest, as it's called now, which was called the Oculus Quest.
Is it?
Yeah.
How can they change the name of a product I already own?
Well, I guess if you buy it now, it would be called the Meta Quest.
Oh, mine's an Oculus Quest.
Yeah. But anyway, they're going to have a showcase for some new games coming, and this showcase is happening on April 20th. So I know you're into your VR. So if you do want to check out the latest games coming to VR, because it is, people still do make some good games for VR. Have you played much of it lately, apart from your porn, obviously?
Mostly porn. No, the porn's no good because you're like this the whole time. You need all your hands. You need more hands. Well, I played that zombie game that the wife bought for me, Double Tap.
Oh yeah, you spoke about that. Yeah,
and that was good fun.
Did you ever get the other Star Wars one? Not Vader Immortal, the
Galaxies.
Yeah, it's
Galaxy
more of a
M.
shooter.
I have got it. No, I have got it, and I tried to play it, and I got stuck and gave up.
It really churned my stomach, that one. It really got my motion sickness going, because that's how VR affects me quite a lot.
No,
And
that
the
game
thing-
did me as well.
Oh, I couldn't get on with it. I couldn't get on with it.
Yeah, much more
it's
than
nice.
Vader Immortal.
It was nice seeing all these aliens and all the droids and stuff, and having a blaster that you could like physically put in your pocket and stuff. But the physical movement, and I didn't get on with the click to move over here and then click to move over there. I don't like that. That's worse than like using the stick and smoothly moving as you can in VR.
Yeah, well, you can adjust the movement on the sticks, can't you? You can make it a bit slower, which helps.
Okay, I didn't know that. Probably would have helped.
Yeah, no, it does. But I found that game quite sickly, so no. And I still haven't bought the Star Trek game. I still haven't tried that.
Is that the bridge commander one? Yeah.
Yeah, just anytime I mention it, the wife always says, "Yeah, it's got really bad reviews."
Yeah,
it's got bad reviews.
Yeah.
But I think it's supposed to be quite fun if you're drunk and you're in with people you don't know, and you're telling them to raise shields and take power from the
I can imagine
thrusters, stick them in the torpedoes or so.
I can imagine it's quite fun with like some mates who are into Star Trek.
Yeah, I haven't got any.
There's your issue.
That's why I do a review show, Stu, because no one will talk to me.
And when they do, they're calling you like an angry beardy. No.
Yeah.
But there's going to be some games showcased here, although no specific teasers were given for what games will be shown. Fans, last year's show featured updates on Resident Evil 4 VR, which I think is now out. That'd be a good game to play in VR. That's one of the That's my favourite game of all time. So to have it in VR, great.
It'd be terrifying.
It would. The last show also had Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge, Pistol Whip, and Lone Echo 2. So you can expect some like major announcements from this show. So check it out, Jimmy. There might be something there that you like. April 20th.
What I'd really like is a sniper game. I'd really enjoy a sniper game where
it must exist, surely.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Because I really like Super Hot. That was probably the best game I played.
Yes, really good.
So good. And that was a game where you've got guns and knives and you have to kill like red crystal people, so you're not killing real people. And it moves as quick as you do.
Yeah,
so if you suddenly panic, you get killed. Yeah.
You would have to plan.
If you move slowly, you dodge bullets. You can chop bullets in half. Brilliant fun. And you still get sweaty when you're ducking behind things, and that was good. So a sniper game like that, but with real people, I'd really enjoy.
Yeah, I love Super Hot.
If you could tell them that.
Really good. You want me to pass that on? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'll do my best. There isn't. You can get a game where you're in a canoe. You're like a special forces canoeist. So you're canoeing. So you're just sat there in your VR, just sat down. I think you have to like mimic the rowing action with your two jobbies.
Yeah.
But then I don't even think these kind of special forces units exist. But like you're canoeing along, and then like you'll stop, and then you have to like shoot some people, and kind of it's like you've got like ghillie suit on and everything, like you're like covert going under through these waterways. Every base that enemies have has some kind of waterway running through the direct middle of it. It's quite convenient, really. But yeah, it's quite.
That sounds fun.
Quite interesting concept, and I think that uses VR quite well because you're stationary, but then you have to stop and then use a scoped gun, what I would imagine, to kill your enemies. So I forget what that's called, but anyway,
that sounds good.
I think it is well regarded, fairly well regarded on VRs. More gaming news, and this was PlayStation Plus is being revamped. I don't know if you heard about this, Jimmy.
What's a PlayStation Plus?
It's the online membership that you can subscribe to. That gives you online play and your free games every month. It's being combined now with PlayStation's other service, which is PlayStation Now, which is their game streaming service. So they're kind of taking these two subscriptions, smushing them together, and charging a little bit more, but kind of combining the benefits of them. So you're gonna, there's gonna be various tiers, but you're going to get a certain number of classic games each month as well, access to like PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. So if you're interested in like your legacy PlayStation titles, might be a good solution for you. I'm excited for it. It's my subscription will continue, so I guess I'll pay up for the higher one to get the access to the PlayStation 2, 3.
How much? How much, Stu?
Okay,
talk to
so
me.
Talk to you. Right. So, like I say, it's 3 plans. PlayStation Plus Essential. This is basically what it is at the moment, so nothing much particularly changes at all. That is going to be $6.99 a month. That doesn't get you any of the free games. That just gets you online play, cloud storage for saved games, and 2 monthly downloadable games. Well, a month.
Hang on. What's a monthly downloadable game? How long do you get to play it?
For as long as you are a member.
Right.
So as long as you have the subscription going, you can build up this collection of 2 games per month. They'll just sit on your account, but as soon as you stop being a member, you can't play them anymore.
And are they good games?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag, to be honest. I think this month it was God, what was it? I can't remember.
Oh, they give you them. You don't choose.
No, you don't choose. They give them to you. So they'll give you like a PlayStation 5 game, PlayStation 4 game, and maybe a VR game as well. So for PlayStation VR. So you do get a good selection. And like I said, they're yours to keep for the length of time of your membership. The next tier is PlayStation Plus Extra, which gets you all of the former tiers benefits, but also a catalogue of up to 400 PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. So that's quite a good deal, I think. That's $13.99 a month.
Okay, yes, that sounds good, Stuart. I'm interested in that one.
What do you feel like I'm trying to upsell you or something?
Yeah, that's what it feels like, especially with your headset on. I feel like I'm watching a call center.
And then PlayStation Plus Premium gets you all of the above, plus the older games as well, like PlayStation 3, 2, 1. So
how many older games? This is how much I interrogate phone people when I'm talking to them.
Is this what it's like? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
with me it is.
340 games across those 3 or 4 systems.
That's too
PlayStation.
Many.
That is a lot of games.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for calling me today, but that's too many games.
I'm out. I'm out. Christ. But I think you're right. I mean, I think we're of a similar kind of point of our lives in our gaming careers. It's quite hard to find time.
Way more gaming in than me.
I know
way more.
I know I do. Well, I've got considerably less children than you do. So
you say that, my wife probably gets in as much gaming as you do.
Yeah, it sounds like she does.
The key is to not put the kids to bed and to ignore your partner. If you can do that, you're made.
There is some wisdom in what you say there, because I think the majority of my gaming time is in that like small window where Benjamin goes to bed and his mum takes him to bed, and then that moment when Amanda comes down from putting him to bed. So it's like an hour's worth, really, give or take. So in that hour, I get that every day pretty much. But as soon as Amanda comes down, I have to be more considerate about what we're watching on the telly. So,
Yeah.
It's a tough life, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah.
It's a tough life. But no real updates on when this is coming out yet. But I think we're looking at June.
I'm not interested, Stu. I told you.
Oh,
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I thought about it because
they'll sack me.
The wife, please. The wife was talking to me the other day about wanting to play Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I went very country then, didn't I? Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
Do you know Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 1. And I dug out, as I showed you, the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 from the garage. And I haven't hooked them up yet, and I haven't even scraped off the mold to see if they work, but I'm pretty sure they will. I'm sure I could get a copy of Tomb Raider 1
Yeah.
from a boot sale for a couple of quid. That's her birthday taken care of. A mouldy
Yeah.
PlayStation and Tomb Raider 1 from a boot sale, disc only.
Lucky Em, right? She's a lucky girl.
Lucky girl.
Jimmy, let's talk about the big release from this week, which is Moon Knight on Disney Plus.
Mm.
Moon Knight, the latest Marvel TV show, hit Disney Plus episode 1 on Wednesday. I watched it. When did I watch it? Thursday evening. What day are we? Friday. No, I watched it Wednesday evening. Sorry, I don't want to get stuck in the mud of the semantics of when I watched the bloody show, but yes, we've both watched it. Which is
When did I watch it?
there's not. Oh my god. How the devil was it for you? I bloody loved it.
Yeah, I watched it Thursday night last night after going to the gym. It was interesting. I went to the gym and I was wearing a Marvel t-shirt, and this chap, really nice chap, never met him before. It's not that type of gym. And he went, "Do you like Marvel?" And I don't know, like he was holding a weight in one hand. Was I a poser? Do you like Marvel? I went, "Yeah, love it. I love it." He was like, "Have you seen Moon Knight yet?" I said, "No, I'm going to watch it when I get home." He went, "Well, I think you'll like it." And he was right. He was bloody right. Because I agree, Stu. I thought it was great fun. Really
It was
interesting and good pace.
Let's break this down as if we were Alan Partridge running through a James Bond film on a bank holiday Monday.
Go for it, because I can't.
Well, we start with I forget Ethan Hawke's character's name. Do you know what that is? Did we learn that in this episode?
No, but he looked great, didn't he? He had long,
He did.
skanky hair, and he was wearing like a sort of cult leader outfit, wasn't he?
Yes.
And what did he do, Stu? This was a great start.
It was a great opening. As soon as I saw this, I was in, because when we spoke about Marvel series before, we think, oh, it's okay, but the antagonists are a bit like kind of forgettable, aren't they? But Ethan Hawke crushing, saying some kind of prayer. He's got like tattoos of these like scales of justice on his forearms, his inner arms. We see him almost like kind of just praying at this altar. And he covers this, I think it's just a wine glass. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, something like that.
A glass, and he smashes it down with this cane that he uses to help him walk. We understand why once we see what he does with the glass. He scoops up the glass and pours it into his like crocs, almost. Crocs.
Yeah.
Like sandals, and he then puts his feet in him, so he's walking on broken glass. I just came to.
Who is that?
Annie Lennox.
Annie Lennox, great song. Yeah. They should have used that if
they
were hack writers. If they were like the writers of Star Trek at the moment, they would have used that.
Yes, try it out. Yeah, then so that's the opening scene, and you think, what the hell is this all about? What's going on here?
That was a lovely opening.
It was. We're introduced then to I forget the actor's name.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac's character, Stephen something. I can't remember again his name. Sorry, I'm not great for details, but
sorry, said in a lacy.
He is playing, well, ostensibly Moon Knight, the character, but he comes across as this everyday kind of like low-level worker in what appears to be like the British Museum, set in London. So he's got this bizarre accent, Oscar Isaac. I'm not quite sure what it is, but
I know people who speak like him. When I lived in London, definitely
in the chat, and I couldn't. I was dubious. Is that really?
I have a friend. I say a friend. He's a guy I've met a few times. His next housemate of a friend. His name is Spencer Jones, and he's an actor. And you can watch some of his stuff on BBC. Actually, he's got a great show called Mr. Mr.
Mustafa Liz?
I've forgotten it. No. Oh, it's very good. And another show called The Something World of Someone. They're really good shows. I can't believe it. I can't remember them. I hope he's not listening, Spencer. Sorry, Spencer. But you could watch him anyway on the iPlayer. I'll send you the links afterwards, Stu. Links in the comments below. But his voice is very similar to his.
He sounds
Very
like Oscar
similar to his.
Isaac.
Well, that voice, yeah, like just
So
a
Steve-
soft, nice Londoner.
Yeah. Stephen is again another really interesting opening scene. He like wakes up and he chains himself to his bedpost. He pours sand all around his bed, and he tapes up the gap in his door, all trying to get indications to see if he's left his room at night. Because as we learned as the episode goes on, he kind of like has these moments where he blacks out, and then he comes back into consciousness, and he's in a different place, or he's got blood on his hands, or something has clearly happened to him. So, and he's hearing voices. We get like this strange imagery of like these Egyptian gods. I'm not quite sure what's going on. What I loved about it is you don't really see him as Moon Knight until the very last shot of the episode. They tease it all the way through. They keep doing these not flashbacks, like these moments where he falls out of consciousness and he wakes up, and clearly the character of Moon Knight, who he is becoming, that's the conceit. It's he's blacking out and becoming Moon Knight and doing this crazy stuff.
Yeah, and we're not seeing them.
Yeah, and we're not seeing it. But you see glimpses of it at the very end, and then you see him in full costume, Oscar Isaac in full costume, Stephen in full costume as Moon Knight. And then it kind of that's the episode cut. It's done. I loved it. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I don't know anything about Moon Knight. Tom wants us to get into Will Smith again because he missed it.
No, we'll come back to it at the end, Tom. Stay with the show. Stay to the end. It's not going to be a long show tonight, I don't think.
But Tom wants us to
the English accents are terrible.
The English accents are terrible. The most offensive English accent, Jimmy, for me was the woman who was Stephen,
his boss,
his immediate superior. The bizarre Cockney accent she had was bizarre.
I thought she was doing she was doing the accent of now. Like lots of people do that accent in TV shows now to be the horrible Cockney. Well, Tom says, I'm not sure a single member of the cast was really British. Oscar Isaac obviously isn't, but I'm pretty sure I've seen his boss in a few things. As an English
shame on her.
I think she is English. But that's Stu. This is why I asked you to talk about the show, because I can't tell you about it because it moved so quick, so much happened, and even though we didn't get to really see Moon Knight. Sorry, talking about Bruce Willis again. Moonlighting, Moonstruck.
Sybil Shepherd comes out.
We didn't need to see him because I thought Oscar Isaac was so entertaining as that character, following him through that story. I was sat with my wife, and she watched WandaVision, loved it. She had no interest in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and she liked Loki in the films, but for some reason she didn't fancy the show. This one, she watched the trailer, wasn't impressed with the trailer, but she was playing a game on her Switch next to me when I started watching it, because that happens quite a lot. She plays Switch, I watch TV. And within no time at all, she had put her Switch down and watched it. And watched the whole episode. And she said, that was so much better than the trailer made it look. The trailer made it just look crazy, but that was so interesting.
Amanda was drawn in as well, and it really did. It kind of sucked you in as it went along, like with intrigue and what the hell is going on? Why is he blacking out? Like, what is his relationship to Ethan Hawke's character? What's this golden scarab that Stephen is holding? Like, they haven't revealed a lot, but they kept you interested, and that's what I loved about it. I also loved the fact that it had no MCU connections at all, because that has got a little bit tired, hasn't it? I think, and I think this almost being feeling separate from the MCU for now, is doing it a favor, to be honest.
And it was not. I really enjoyed it. It was the fact it was a character I didn't know. I've seen the comics. I haven't read the comics, and it looked like a cool character. So the fact that I didn't know that was great. Good actor. Tom says here Oscar Isaac is a Guatemalan American.
There you go.
Yeah, I know he's American. Sorry, Guatemala. Yeah, I just said American, didn't I? Sorry, Tom. I think they filmed it in LA. No, that was definitely London. Like, there was a red double-decker bus. I know London. I lived there for some time. I know Tom still lives there, but that was London, all right, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Stu?
Well,
We
I
saw the
assume,
outside of the museum.
but they can play tricks on us, can't they? It could be like Sydney or something, or LA, as Tom is saying. I don't know. Perhaps it was LA.
What would be the point of filming it in 2 different locations? Cost more
I don't
money.
know. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I don't recall them. Usually, you hear like where these things are shot, don't you? But I don't. Well, should I Google it? Okay, let's do it. We've got
Google
the
it.
world of the
Google it.
internet at our fingertips.
I'm sure Tom has
Um,
probably already Googled it because he's always got his phone in his hand. What did you think of the CGI? There was a couple of bits that I thought
Bit
weren't
ropey.
amazing.
Mm.
Yeah.
But the car chase was a little bit ropey at times, I thought.
Yeah, there was a
I
few
loved when
bits.
he almost like killed someone with a cupcake to the face.
Yeah, that was good. But like the bloke jumping from the car to the truck, that's not how physics
Yeah.
work. A regular guy jumping from a car to a truck. And the logs coming down hitting the blokes, that looked a bit janky. The
Yeah.
dog, the like Egyptian monster dog,
Mhm.
that wasn't amazing. And even Moon Knight at the end. Was he CGI at the end?
I don't know. I guess maybe
His
a
cape
portion. Maybe
certainly was.
yeah, like I don't know. Probably
I
was,
thought
wasn't it?
that didn't blow me away either. With how good suits, with how good costumes are these days,
Mm,
you don't need to do a CGI, do you? I know, like Superman's cape is CGI and things like. There's bits you can add, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd rather have seen him un-CGI'd, au naturel.
I'm looking to see where it was filmed, and it's not. It's not apparent. It's not clear in the article anyway, so we may have to hold fire on that.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you on the CGI. It's almost. It feels like perhaps they didn't want to commit too much money to it, just in case. It's a fringe. Well, for my knowledge, a fringe like Marvel character. I might be
Yeah.
speaking out of term there. I don't know, but perhaps they didn't. This hasn't had as much money pumped into it as, say, I don't know, Captain. Falcon and the Winter Soldier or whatever.
Hmm.
I don't know, but yeah, it did look a bit ropey. I think you're fair in saying that.
That said, for me it didn't distract. It was,
No.
there's old films with ropey CGI that are fantastic. The show was
Yeah.
good. The acting was brilliant. It was intriguing. It was interesting. There was not only Stephen, there was also the character of Mark, wasn't there? This alter ego of this other
Yes.
personality
Mm,
of Stephen's, who he spoke to in the mirror, who
yeah.
I'm guessing is Moon Knight. Like he's the guy who turns into Moon Knight rather than him being Moon Knight.
That's what it implied because Mark was saying, "Look, Stephen, look into my eyes. I will help you." So
Yeah.
it was like Mark had the ability to turn into Moonlight. So there's obviously this
Yeah.
theme of alter personalities, and I think it'd be quite interesting where it goes with that. You could have like commentary on mental health and stuff like that. Maybe I don't know how deep they'll go into it, but there's lots of potential for it to go in
Well,
different
also,
directions.
who's the real? Yeah, who's the original?
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't remember what the word is. I did
Persona?
watch that show, didn't I? Yeah. The actual persona from the start. Is it Mark? Because obviously Mark had a phone. Mark set up the date as well that Stephen missed, which was weird. So clearly Mark goes to work sometimes.
Yeah, it's clear that the character is flitting between personality types, isn't it? At various points, whether it's Mark or it's Stephen, where it's Moon Knight, it feels like there's like a intricate thread between them all.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting how that all plays out. Really,
it's like Stephen's other personality is Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. So it's like his other personality, and the voice in his head as well. I don't know who was doing that voice. Bruce Willis.
No.
I don't know, but he kept
Oh.
saying, "Oh, the idiot is back. The idiot has got control again," didn't he?
Yeah, I did read who that was, but I've since forgotten it. So I don't know
Oh,
why I
did
raised
you?
that. I used to know something, but now I don't. So
Yeah,
really
that's
bringing
the story of your
anything
life.
to the table. Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, I'm pumped for the next episode. I
Yeah.
hope the wife watches it with me as well.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
a great opening. Fingers crossed they carry it on.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. We went into this with some trepidation with a bit of a downturn in Marvel TV output recently, and Star Wars, if you believe some people.
And Star
But
Trek.
yes, and Star Trek, of course, if you watch your own Trek.
Well,
Um,
Boba Fett, Stu. Boba Fett was bad. You got to admit
yeah,
that.
it weren't great. Overall, it weren't what I wanted it to be. But yeah, I think we've spoke about that at great length. But yeah, Moon Knight. So far, so good for me.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Disney Plus, check it out.
Check it out. Wednesdays it premieres. Yeah, we'll
Even
be
if
doing
you're not a superhero fan or a Marvel fan, if you're like marveled out, this didn't feel like Marvel, did it?
No, not at all. Not at all. It felt very separated from the
Yeah.
MCU.
That's all that gin you're drinking there, Stu. That's
I think it is.
causing some
Christ.
issues.
It is.
How many bottles have you had this evening?
Well, this is my bottle, but I've only
Yeah.
had like that.
Oh,
Like, hardly any of
is
it.
that since breakfast?
No, since this evening. There you go. It's all right. I'll have another
Do you
one.
never
Have a top up in a minute.
do you never wake up some days and go, God, I could go a drink?
Slope off into your garage and just
Mm.
top up your Fanta.
Oh,
Yeah, and
bliss.
some gin. Jimmy, what have you been watching this week? Is there anything you want to bring to the table for me?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the time and I see we have time, so
Yeah,
I will
do
fill
that.
that time with what I've been watching, sticking with the superhero genre on Sky Television. I have been watching Peacemaker.
Nice. John Cena vehicle.
John Cena, recommended to us a lot by our good friend Midian from the Renaissance Men alumni. He was raving about it, wasn't he? And the Suicide Squad film that came out, not Suicide Squad, the Suicide
one.
Squad,
Yeah.
directed by James Gunn,
Yeah.
with John Cena, with Idris Elba, Margot Robbie. It was a good film. It was
I
a
enjoyed
good,
it.
fun film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy, but
No.
it was good.
I didn't like the ending of that. I didn't like the big blobby thing at the end. I thought it was
the starfish.
yeah, but that's another story. But
I
overall,
think
a good film. I'm with you.
Polka Dot Man, I thought, was the best thing in.
Yes, he was good. He was good.
He stood out
And the
as a
Weasel.
character with the Weasel was good fun, but the Polka Dot Man really stood out as a character with just an interesting character with depth, and everyone else was just sort of strong killing machines, you know. So I wasn't holding out huge amounts of hope for Peacemaker. It's John Cena. It's his character from the Suicide Squad. Gets roped back into being part of Amanda Waller's crew, being an assassin, basically. But it's very, very, very good. It's really
Is it
good.
really? Is it really? I'm surprised.
It's better than it's better than Falcon Winter Soldier. It's better than Loki. It's better than Boba Fett. It's a really good show. The opening credits, as our good friend Midian said, are fantastic. Have you seen the opening credits?
No, I haven't. It's a belt of a track, from what I understand.
I think we should show the opening credits because
yeah, okay.
I've watched 3 episodes. I've refused to skip the credits because they set the tone of the show. And do you know what I love about John Cena? He works his ass off in everything he does. We know this from him as a wrestler. He gives it everything. He's pumped himself up to incredible shape. You can tell he's trying his best to act. and his acting's fine for this character. And it's better in this show because we actually find out a little bit more about him and why he's like how he is. We meet his dad, who is played by the T-1000. What's his name? John Patrick.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, who's awful. His dad's awful. When you start to go, okay, so we're learning more about him, and he's quite a sad character.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got it keyed up. Should we watch it before we go any further?
Put the sound on and do it.
Yeah.
Make a move extreme. Shortcut to your dreams. Go straight to the stars on that flying thing. Get high. Get the snow blind gates. Make a tune, chick a boon in the world beyond. Got a beat, got a heat on the phone string. Tear your world apart. Once the magic starts. Do you really wanna taste it? What's going on must come down. Baby, I'm losing ground. Just to become the mirror lies the whole. She dancing with your blinkers on. Baby, I'm the invisible bone. Do you really wanna taste it? What's going on must come down. Do you really wanna taste it? Baby, I'm losing ground. Just to become the mirror lies the whole. What's wrong with you? Dancing with your blinkers on. For your door, the invisible bone.
That's brilliant. Yeah, fair play. Is it because how do they handle it? I mean, does the Peacemaker transition into like a heroic figure because he's not that in the film, is he?
It's playing against you.
Is it? Okay, sorry, I'm turning off.
Yeah. He becomes a very different character pretty quick. Pretty quick, but it needed to be. It needed to be for this show to work. Also, I forgot to mention you've got I can't remember the actress's name, but she played Tasty in Orange is the New Black. Did you ever watch Orange is the New Black?
No.
Really good TV show, Orange is the New Black. Fantastic showcase for so many fantastic female actors. Captain Janeway's in it. You know, she's one of the main, and you wouldn't even know it was Captain Janeway. She's playing a Russian mobster's wife, and she's incredible. Taylor Schilling is very good in it. But the girl in Peacemaker, she played a character called Tasty, and she is brilliant. Brilliant actor. Everyone does their bit. It's funny. It's you know, it's a bit of a there's some heart to it. The action's good. It's quite violent. I would recommend this to, again, another thing like Moon Knight. Even if you're not Moonlighting, like Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. If you're not a superhero fan, doesn't matter because this is not a superhero vehicle. It's like an action comedy.
I was going to say, is it in a similar vein to James Gunn's other stuff in that it's very comedic focused? You know, it's funny. You know.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
that opening credit sets it out.
Yeah, that does set the tone somewhat, doesn't it?
And they're not all on the same side. Like they're like that's the cast there. There's heroes and villains, you know, in that dance number. But you watch that and it gets you in the mood for the show. It sets the tone, and I think you can see just from that. That's James Gunn at his best, really.
Yeah, I want to give this a go because I like James Gunn. I liked Suicide Squad. I like John Cena. I can't help myself. I'm sorry, but I do like it. I think he's charismatic. He's charismatic, and he played that role really well in the film. So, surprisingly, he surprised me at how engaged I was with his character. So, I'm prepared to give this a go. Is it all? Is this the whole series on there in one go? Or are they releasing it weekly?
No, it's all out. It's all
shebang.
Out.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you watched the whole thing?
No, I've watched 3 episodes, and it hasn't dropped in quality yet.
Great. That's really good to hear.
Because a lot of shows have a belter at the start, don't they?
Yeah.
And then maybe the next one's good, and then I've only done 3, but all three have
Yeah.
been really enjoyable.
I mean, this is what I worry about with Moon Knight. Going back to that, is it's a cracking first episode, but you do have to just hold your horses in case it does.
Well, this was some of the crap that I was getting on Facebook the other day with my Star Trek Picard review. Because people were saying, it's a 10-episode series, and these aren't always easy to do, because that's what TV shows are now. I mean, what started that? Like Game of Thrones, maybe sort of started that trend of a 10-episode film, basically like a 10-hour film, right? There was probably some other things before that, but
Yeah.
Game of Thrones seems like the obvious choice. And everyone got behind that, and Game of Thrones did it incredibly for 7 seasons. Obviously, the last season was a mess, but this is what shows do. They have 10 episodes, and they have this story arc going across it. And they were saying, this is difficult to do, and you go, well, if it's difficult to do, don't do it. Star Trek survived for years on individual episodes. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer, again, you can have a story arc overall, but individual episodes where you go, oh, my favorite episode of Star Trek, or my favorite episode of Buffy or Angel or whatever is this, the A-Team, whatever. Quantum Leap, it was a tried and tested method for so long. Everyone's jumped on the bandwagon with this 10 to 12 episode movie, which is cool if you can do it. And so far, Peacemaker's 3 episodes in, doing a good job. But so many shows have floundered because of trying to do that, haven't they? Like every season of Star Trek Discovery. The first one was decent, and the 3 others dreadful. Picard Series 1, it flounders. It just the middle is so flabby because they go, right, we've got great opening, the ending should be exciting. Now let's fill 10 hours,
Yeah. It's hard to do, man. It's hard to do. And if the story isn't there, I think I wish there was more like experimentation with like TV show formats. It does feel like you're right in that a lot of TV shows these days do churn out the same kind of 10 episode, 6 episode kind of. There's not many longer form TV shows these days, I don't think. I could be speaking out of turn there, but it feels a lot rarer than it used to be. Like your X-Files and your Buffys and stuff, where it's a much longer season. Where the most you like you say, you would have this overarching storyline, but the most you would get is like a 1 or 2 parter, maybe, like a 2-part episode which linked together. But I think that's less popular these days, isn't it? I think.
Well, the Orville does it. The Orville is and I know Seddon started the Orville the first season, and the first season is a bit of a slog, and he was right with what he said about it. But the second series was so good, and they're individual episodes. And
I like that. I miss that.
I miss it as well, because as I said, you can't watch something like I mean, maybe with Game of Thrones, but other like recent things we go on. My favorite episode was this, because it's all part of a show. It's all part of a film, a long film, and it just doesn't always work.
Do you know the first TV series that I seem to remember doing the longer format, and did it really well was Murder One. I don't know if you remember Murder One. It was it was a police procedural. It was a court case. Stanley Tucci was in it. It was a really good, amazing TV show. But it was like the whole court case was stretched, and investigation was stretched over one series. And that did it really well because in those kind of scenarios, a court case, an investigation, you've got like lots of different like narrative threads that you can play on, and red herrings and stuff that you can play on. But I think certain genres of TV, it probably doesn't work as well.
No, I get that. A courtroom show, absolutely, you can do that, can't you? But with something like Boba Fett, we saw how that failed massively. If you would have condensed that down to a film, with some actual character development of any of the characters we've met, that could have been great. So with that Peacemaker, so far so good. Hopefully, it won't
Nice.
struggle in the middle. Get on board.
What I've been watching not so much this week, but since we've last spoken, Jimmy, is I couldn't remember if you were a fan of Toast of London or not. Were you a fan of Toast?
A lot of it, I am. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
it, I am. I tried the
I mean,
latest one and I didn't get on with it. But
Tinsletown.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm bringing to the table today is Toast of Tinsletown, and it's not so much just that series. It's the I mean, I watched Toast of Tinseltown, which I thought was very good, and an interesting kind of evolution of that character, taking him out um, of his kind of London location and the London acting scene, and throwing him more as an outsider in like the Hollywood scene. Um, but I watched that, loved it, and then kind of went back and started to watch Toast of London all the way through, which I hadn't done. I hadn't finished season 3 the first time I watched it, so I've watched a whole lot now, and I really love it. It's not, it's not Shadows tier. What we do in the Shadows tier, it's not Matt Berry's best stuff, but I think it is up there. It is a favourite of mine. I just love the relationship between Toast and Ray Purchase, how he just has this uh, relationship with Ray Purchase's wife, which is banging out, and Ray just seems to know about it but doesn't do anything about it. Just doesn't care. But yeah, I love Toast. I love the absurd nature of the comedy. A lot of it is very absurd. Some of it's quite surreal at times.
yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of surreal comedy, but it's just this kind of walks the line very much. I think it kind of drifts into surrealism at times. It's not like full on, Mighty Boosh or anything like that. It still has kind of a bit of logic to it, I guess, is the term I would use. But yeah, Matt Berry perfectly cast as Stephen Toast. I shared a video with you that someone had created today. I guess it was for an April Fool's joke. I think it's a guy that can really do the voice of Matt Berry as Stephen Toast really well. They've kind of superimposed his voice onto some footage with Toast as Doctor Who. It's a great video. If you can go watch it out, go search it out. It's great. It's Stephen Toast as Doctor Who.
Put it in the comments below or whatever. It was so good.
It was good, wasn't it?
Really good.
Yeah.
Well, at first, because I'm a Doctor Who fan pre Jodie Whittaker, and I thought, oh, have they announced the new Doctor? Because it starts with I think a tweet from Russell T Davies, who has come back on, doesn't it? And it's really well put together. And then suddenly it's Matt Berry, you're like
calling Davros a ball sack and stuff. Yeah. It's great.
Let me go, you metal bastards!
Shoot. Yeah. Toast of Tinseltown was great. A good evolution of Toast of London. They take him out of his comfy location of London and the absurd situations he gets in, and makes them even more absurd on the grander Hollywood scale. I love the fact the conceit he goes out there as his promised a part in the new Star Wars movie.
I will give it a go. I will get back into it. I will.
Yeah. There's a few duff episodes in the run of 6, don't get me wrong, but overall it is an enjoyable romp. Just seeing him kind of interact with these ridiculous American characters. And they play a lot on that, the ridiculousness of American culture and Hollywood culture, and having this absurd man look normal in this even more absurd lifestyle that he's gone over to. So yeah, a great comedy show. If you're a fan of Matt Berry, then go check it out. It's fantastic.
The first episode, the bit that did something that made me laugh, because I've got a good friend in Toast of London.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a friend. And his name's Tim Downey. Does he play Clem Fandango? He's the white guy in the booth. There's the two guys in the booth.
That's not Clem. That's the
not
other
Clem,
guy.
Is it? He plays the other guy.
Yeah, I know you mean. Yeah, he's been in lots of stuff, isn't he?
Tim, loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his own show. What's it called? It's on Netflix at the moment. They've been pushing it a bit. It's called
What's his name?
Tim Downey.
Downey.
Yeah.
Tim Downey.
We did we did some things. We did the real Brian Blessed stuff. I think I popped you over the real Brian Blessed stuff with
Yeah,
my cousin Matthew and Matthew
Ah.
Early and Tim Downey. So
Mhm.
he's a lovely guy. He's brilliant. But I messaged him after the first episode saying I really liked the dinner lady's apron he's wearing in the first episode. He's got like like Victoria Wood dinner ladies apron, because they're supposed to be like Shoreditch fucking idiots, aren't they? What they
Yeah.
wear, always ridiculous
Yeah.
stuff. He was wearing that apron. I said, I did like, you spot it. You go, that's a fucking dinner lady's apron he's wearing. I said, whose idea? I went, whose idea was that? And he was like, Matt Berry's. I was like, it's a good fucking idea. It's the sort of, because I lived in New Cross for years with Vasyl Tchaikovsky, and we had he had lots of friends from that Shoreditch idiots way of living, and we'd go to like markets, and one guy we had lived with us. He was a nice guy. He was a really nice guy, good drinker, but skinny as fuck, and hair like like one of the Beatles, and he'd go to the market and buy a dress and then cut it up to be a jumper. And you're like, why don't you buy a jumper? Do you know what I mean? Like, they'd do things like that. They'd wear these. They'd wear these. Everyone had this. This was before skinny jeans had gone everywhere. Like, everyone had the tightest jeans. Everyone was skinny, and I was at my fattest then. I had long hair and a beard. And what else had got tank tops over shirts was like in fashion there. So I bought a tank top, to try and fit in, and I always stuck out because they were all tall and skinny with skinny clothes on that was so small and tight, and I was like, chubby, hairy twat. But yeah, so that sort of thing, a dinner lady's fucking bib is exactly like the sort of shit they'd put on. And that did make me laugh a lot.
I do love that relationship between Clem Fandango, Tim Downey, and Matt Berry's toast in the booth, just like kind of back and forth. They clearly hate each other, but
it's great.
It's a great relationship, and you get a moment between them all each episode. That's really, really fun. And like they're
really passive aggressive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's like a battle of wits. These stupid fucking idiots.
Yeah,
it's really, really good. I love that show.
What's interesting as well, the guy who plays Clem Fandango is in Star Trek Discovery.
Is he really?
Yeah, and like you probably wouldn't know. He's in series 1 and 2, and he plays Ash Tyler. He's a very sexy guy. And I recommend Discovery season 1. It's good fun. Separate it from Star Trek and just watch it as a good fun show. But he's in it, and I was like, he's a really good actor. And it took me a couple of years before I was like, oh Jesus Christ, it's the same. It's Clem Fandango in Star Trek Discovery as a main character. It was so weird. So weird.
Stephen, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Very good.
So that's what I've been doing. I'm kind of back on the road with Moon Knight. Obviously, that's going to be my go-to at the moment. But I'm kind of in that period where I don't really know what to watch next. To be honest with you, it's kind of, I'm looking for things to take me away from episodes of Columbo. That's the kind of mood I'm in at the moment. I just love watching a Columbo of an evening. But I think Moon Knight will draw me in, but it's not enough. I need. Of course, yes. Why not? Peacemaker.
You watch Peacemaker. I'll go and watch that last series of Toast that I haven't finished watching.
We'll do swapsies. I like it. Right, time for a new feature, Jimmy. A new feature that you've brought to the table. This is, well, I won't let me say it. I'll let the Sting say it. So.
Can the past still make us laugh?
Yeah. It's a great question. Can the past still make us laugh?
Oh,
Jimmy?
Everyone's asking it. Everyone's asking that.
It's the great debate for our times.
Wonderful. Well, shall I take over this, Stu?
Please do.
this was an idea that I had as a new regular section on the show. Can the past still make us laugh? I wanted to bring different clips from sitcoms, sketch shows, whatever, comic reliefs from years gone by, and show them to Stu live on the show and see if they might. I mean, obviously the past can make us laugh. It's a stupid question. Of course it can. But we'll try and delve into things we may not have seen before and things that some people may find offensive these days. Not like we're not going to go back. We're not going to go horribly bad, but just some things that people go, you wouldn't see that these days. So I've started with something quite light. I'm watching House again at the moment, so I'm a bit Hugh Laurie obsessed. But I've set up the clip for Stu to watch, and if he laughs, he has to give £5 to charity.
A local charity. Okay.
Yeah, I've thrown that in.
I should try not to laugh.
No, just laugh. No, don't worry. I tell you, if you laugh, I give £5 to charity.
Okay, I'll keep this up. Let me just. So, what is the clip, Jimmy? Introduce it. Are you going to introduce it? I don't know how we
I'll
can play
introduce it. So this is Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie. For anyone who only knows Stephen Fry now for QI and Harry Potter, him and Hugh Laurie were two of the best sketch show comedians ever, and most of their shows are on. I think they were on Netflix. I'll have to check. But they were young Jonathan Ross there. But they were so good, so funny. Their characters are brilliant. Their commitment to everything was brilliant. And you haven't seen good sketch comedy till you've watched a bit of Fry and Laurie. But this is from Comic Relief. Crikey, in the 90s. I don't know which year exactly, but you can see that, how young everyone is. But there you go. Comic Relief in the 90s. Have a go, Stu. See if the past can still make us laugh.
I feel like I should play the sting again.
Can the past still make us laugh?
Let's find out.
Hugh Laurie.
Ladies, thank you, and gentlemen, good evening.
Yes, yes, good evening.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at two people whose metaphorical bottoms are extremely sore, because I have to tell you that Hugh and I are sitting on the horns of a dilemma.
We asked for stools, they gave us horns.
And pretty sharp horns at that. So sharp, in fact, that I don't even know that we can really explain this dilemma to you.
Well, I'll do it if you like.
Okay.
All right, well, we have received a written offer from an engineering firm in the Midlands who we've asked to remain anonymous of £500,000 to Comic Relief.
Now, that's one horn of the dilemma.
That's right, that's horn number one. They will give £500,000 if Stephen Fry will masturbate live on this program.
Now that is horn number two. You see, the dilemma is this. £500,000 is a great deal of money, a very great deal of money.
It's close on to £500,000.
It's not far from it.
Yeah. You can do an awful lot with £500,000 smackers.
That's right. But you can do even more with £500,000. Now, most people, I'm sure, would like to see another £500,000 floating into the coffers of Comic Relief.
It would be a good thing.
Now, very few people, however, and I may be wrong, but very few people would like to see me thrashing wildly around the studio, holding a framed photograph of Bob Holness.
That would definitely be a bad thing.
You see, because apart from anything else, it is perfectly possible that I would cause £500,000 worth of damage here, and then we will be right back to square one.
Back to square one, but with a memory to live with us forever.
A memory I venture to suggest that we could well do without.
Yeah. So that's the dilemma. Does Stephen enrich comic relief to the tune of £500,000?
By slapping about to the tune of blockbusters?
Or does he preserve his modesty and the dignity of this whole event?
Well, it is a thorny problem, and we wrote to the Archbishop of Canterbury for advice. He said, and I quote, "Oh, sod it, take the money."
We also wrote to Bob Holness, asking if he'd mind being featured in this important piece of fundraising. He's actually he said yes, and sent us a photograph of himself in the uniform of a bus conductor.
Perfect.
Yeah. But we'd like to put it to you, our audience here tonight. If you think that Stephen ought to go through with this challenge, will you shout out, "Yes, please"? Yes, please! Whoa. Quite a few.
If you think I should not comply with this offer, could you please signify your decision by wearing an article of clothing? Oh, that's a shame, actually. It's unanimous. A small part of me really wanted to do it. Never mind.
Oh, well.
I tell you what, a compromise solution has just suggested itself to me.
Fill me in.
No, it isn't that. No, my compromise solution is this. Supposing if, instead of masturbating, I just gave myself a little kiss.
Where?
Right here, in the studio. No photographs of Bob Holness need be involved, no fire-retardant carpet tiles, no mayonnaise or anything of that description.
Well, I think you'd be lucky to get 50p for that, to be honest.
I usually charge myself £1.
Well, they might stretch to £1, yeah.
All right, then. I'll do it. Here goes.
Well, how was it?
In fact, it was quite exciting.
Was it really?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go. An honourable compromise.
Very exciting.
Right. Well, so chalk up £1 more on our grand total, Mr. Rhys Jones, if you please.
No night.
There we go, Stu. It made me laugh, and all it took was a masturbating joke. I'm very easy to believe.
Quick, close it. Well, quite. That sketch came up, and I watched it, and I was cracking. Really simple, but it's them, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, very much them. You know, their style. I don't know. It's very it felt very understated.
Yeah, just two really well-educated guys. I mean, Stephen Fry. It's that posh man, isn't it? It's the poshest man. That's what he's playing there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the idea of masturbating to Bob Holness is brilliant.
As a bus conductor with mayonnaise. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you get that on comic relief these days, Stu?
I don't think you would you?
No. And I don't think that was offensive, but I guess the idea of public displays of wanking after everything we had with like the Me Too movement, like Louis C.K. and
yes,
and Weinstein. I mean, putting them into the same category seems a bit harsh, but they both did something like that, getting it out, and you know, it would offend some people these days. Probably not the people that the act happened to, more people who like to moan about things. It would offend them, and that would be, I think people would, that sketch, I think these days people would be up in arms about.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, and that seems like a sad indictment, really, doesn't it? That seems quite a disappointing kind of state of where we're at the moment. But yeah, it was funny. It made me laugh. So the past did make me laugh. We answered the question:
can the past still make us laugh?
Yeah.
There you go. I'll tell you what, Stu, I think that was a good section. I'll bring something next week that could test us even further with
in controversy state, or
well, I mean, I don't think that was controversial at all.
No,
but
no.
I agree with you, and I think I don't think they'd do that. now.
No.
It wouldn't, they wouldn't do that thing. And I remember Comic Relief back in the day, because they'd have different hosts coming on at different times, because none of them could do a decent night's work. But I remember the later it got, the more sort of exciting it got, and the better comedians came on later at night, didn't they? So that would have been like after 9 o'clock, we've got Jonathan Ross hosting, where we're going to have Hugh Laurie on and Smith and Jones and things like that. I'd be like, oh, good stuff. I'll stick around for them. Now
Well, these days you get like, you get like, I don't know, Fern Cotton doing it, don't you? Something like that. Like, entertainment presenters, not comedians doing it.
The cast of EastEnders doing a dance.
Yeah, exactly. Newsreaders stripping or something. I don't know.
Yeah, masturbating to Bob Holness. I think Tom Rogerson is slightly down, slightly behind us in watching, because he's still talking about Moon Knight in the group.
I did wonder.
I think he's paused it. God, I've come back and watched it, and presuming he's still live with us.
But, and strangely enough, there's like two comments from Holly coming through about Michael Barrymore, which is fine in itself, but it's come through twice for some reason. But Holly went down a rabbit hole of Michael Barrymore. So did Michael Barrymore, allegedly, in that swimming pool. But
well, I think one of her comments is from Twitch, and one might be from YouTube.
Oh, yes, it is. Well spotted, Jimmy. Look at that, you technical marvel, you.
Whatever. But I mean, we should definitely acknowledge it, because she clearly wants us to acknowledge it.
Yes.
I went down a rabbit hole of watching clips of Michael Barrymore last week. He was hilarious on his TV shows. I remember really enjoying Michael Barrymore on What is a Hotspot, Not a Hotspot. What was that show called?
I had no idea. I wasn't a fan of Michael Barrymore.
Top, middle, or bottom. What was it called? Before he killed that young lad in his swimming pool by fisting him to death, allegedly he was a legend, Barrymore. What was the show called?
Higher or lower?
No, it wasn't high. Well, his thing was top, middle, or bottom. They had like a series of TV screens. Top, middle, or bottom. If they got an arrow, they moved forward a place.
Win or draw.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
I liked that. That was good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else I liked. Telly Addicts. Do you remember that show? With Noel Edmonds.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another. Maybe there's another feature there. Can game shows of the past still entertain us slightly?
Questionable. Strike it lucky.
Strike it lucky. Did that just come to your head?
No,
it came to the comments. Thank you, Holly. Thank you. Strike it lucky. He was really good back then. He was funny. There's still some good game show hosts these days, but they're just there's not the game shows there used to be, is there?
No.
Bradley Walsh is quite good for a laugh.
I always, funny enough, I always liked Warwick Davis. He's quite a good compere of a game show.
Is he?
Yeah. Have you not seen Tenable? Tenable's quite good.
No.
He does that. Yeah. I can't remember what the gimmick is on it, but yeah, he's quite good with people. Is Warwick Davis? He's funny, isn't he? He is funny. He's a funny guy,
and he's super nice, isn't he? Like
looks funny too.
He's got added gags where he can't reach certain things. Like that. That's a given with him. But him as a person, like you watch him in any documentary about him, or I met him at Comic Con. That's not a name drop. I met him at Comic Con, and I just went up to him and chatted to him because my cousin had been in Life's Too Short with him, and he's just so friendly. And apparently, my mum told me about a documentary she watched with him, and he was talking about how he's in constant pain.
Bless him.
His disability causes him constant pain, but he deserves a knighthood, Warwick Davis.
Sir Warwick does have a ring to it, Sir Warwick Davis.
He is well, Jesus, I've just had 31 messages come in. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stream chat, but
it's blown up.
Yeah.
I would definitely put him up for a knighthood. He is a British institution, Warwick Davis, and we should push him rather than some of the people. I mean, some of the people that have been getting knighthoods lately has been ridiculous. Who got one recently? I saw it came up. What are they called? OBEs?
Yeah.
Recent obesity.
Well, an OBE isn't quite the same as a knighthood, is it? An OBE, you get various ranks. You get CBE, OBE, MBE,
What's the
and
biggie?
then knighthood.
What? So you got MBE, OBE, and CBE, knighthood of dame or damehood.
Knighthood for men, damehood for the ladies. Excuse me.
I don't know. I saw some crazy ones like James Corden or someone.
Sir
Getting one.
James Corden. Well, it's the sports stars, isn't it? That that's the
Yeah.
ones that rankle with me, like Sir Sir Lewis Hamilton or Sir Andy Murray. I don't know.
Are they got them?
I'm sure they have. Andy Murray certainly has. I'm not sure about Lewis. I think Lewis has, but well,
What's the deal with that? I mean, I kind of get it with Murray. Like he gets the country behind him, and we all cheer, and he plays good tennis.
but he's not
And
an Ewok, is he?
he's not an Ewok. No.
No, he's not. Hairy like one, but he
Hmm.
isn't an Ewok. An
Hashtag.
Ewok.
Hashtag Warwick. Sir Warwick.
Sir Warwick. I think that says it all.
Yeah.
Hashtag Sir Warwick.
Let's get that going.
Yeah. Let's do it. Jimmy, let's wrap this show up. You've got some bird news for us. And with that comes this.
Bird news.
That was you doing your best, Matt Berry. That was very good.
Thank you. I'm really impressed with my stings. I don't know if that's the right term, but I've gone with it. Stings.
No, go with it. Well, what, jingles, stings,
jingles. Yeah, of course they are jingles. Anyway,
well,
what's your
think
bird news?
Stings probably right because I think a jingle is a tune, whereas I think you're right with stings. Anyway, bird news. You're not going to bring up the link so I can read it? Don't have
I am
to.
sorry. Oh, no, I am.
I mean, I remember it because it was about dodos.
It was. Let me share my screen.
Scientists. I mean, you haven't even put it up, but I'm guessing the article starts with the word scientists. Oh. No, it doesn't.
Investigate.
Dead as a dodo, maybe not for long after scientists sequence extinct birds' genome. So scroll down to the article. There's a nice dodo. Look at them. Beautiful, beautiful, elegant creatures. Look at that. I think we have to pay for the article, but it doesn't matter. You get the gist. Like the entire genome of the dodo. Oh, hang on, I was reading that. The entire genome.
Your bird news is based on this sentence.
Yeah. No, if you go down a little bit and you read the start of the article, don't pay for it. The entire genome of the dodo has been sequenced for the first time, raising hopes that the bird could be brought back from extinction. That's
what you're basing your bird news on.
What else you need? That's the story. That's the best bird news we've ever had on here. They have finally sequenced for the first time the entire genome of the dodo, meaning they could clone it, I guess.
I don't know,
I haven't read the article. But they could use that genome. It wants to come back. Keep it hanging on.
Kill me.
They could bring this Jurassic looking bird, isn't it?
Elephant man.
It's beautiful. Look at it. What a beautiful bird. They could be bringing this back, and it sparked off the thought in my head, which I wanted to pitch to you, Stu. I'm well up for this. I'm bang up for bringing back the dodo. Bird news. What amazing bird news. But is there any extinct animal, just one, that you would like them to bring back? They're going to do it tomorrow. It's your decision. Any animal that's extinct, they're going to bring back two of them, male and a female. They're going to like each other. Sorry to anyone out there who is not straight, heterosexual, but we're going to go for a man and a woman so that they can have kids, right? So What are you going for?
6 animals we ate into extinction.
You can't Google your answer, Stu.
No, I wanted a list of the animals that are good, like a top 10 of the most extinct animals. That's what I wanted, so I could get a flavour.
The best extinct animals.
Well, you know what I mean. 23 extinct animals we've lost in the past. Yeah, okay, this will do. This will do.
150 years.
Rhinos, as far as I know, they're still around. Surely.
Yeah, I know rhino.
This is clickbait.
It might be the white rhino.
A smooth handfish. Okay. Ramble cat. Okay, no, nothing's ticking my boat. Oh, that's nasty. Okay, the northern white
is that the best picture they had of that fish? it after it's been murdered. What is that?
That is a thylacine. Thylacine?
Wow.
Thylacine. A Tasmanian tiger. Passenger pigeon. Wow, that looks cool. That's like a half a zebra, isn't it? Half a horse,
donkey.
half a donkey, half a zebra.
The quagga.
Some of these, do you know what? Sod all this. I'm going T-Rex.
I'm going big or going home. T-Rex.
Exactly. Yeah. Zanzibar leopard. I mean, these are all kind of variations on animals that
these are
crap,
crap,
aren't they? Yeah.
I've seen enough of these.
Do you know what? Yeah, you're a snake. You're a turtle, mate. You deserved it. You know, survival of the fittest. The only one with an illustration, the dodo. It's so rare, so extinct that you have to draw it. There's no photos exist.
You say survival of the fittest. I believe this article is the ones we've eaten, isn't it? Into extinction.
I think that was implied. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I found out something interesting recently. Survival of the fittest doesn't necessarily mean that they were bigger or stronger. It means that they fitted the environment around them. So they either evolved or they didn't fit in where they lived and they died.
Adapt or die.
Yeah. So it wasn't that they wasn't big and strong or whatever. It's they didn't fit the environment that was around them. But you're going T-Rex. I think that's
Why not?
Yeah, I mean,
it's foolhardy. Granted, it's we've seen it in films, and it doesn't usually end well. But
no,
why not? Be entertaining.
Yeah, I'm with you because I'd really like to see a is it a mosasaur? The massive underwater thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't been out to see dolphins, so I'm not going to go out and see a mosasaur, am I? So I need something a bit closer to, I need something land dwelling. So the T-Rex does sound good, doesn't it? It's got to be. Even other dinosaurs, like, I wouldn't mind a Brachiosaurus.
Like the big, like a huge dino cow. I don't know, but think of the methane,
I'm always disappointed when I see certain animals in the zoo that they're not bigger, like rhinos and elephants. I'm like, I was hoping it was going to be much bigger than this. So I think the biggest thing I can see, Brachiosaurus or Diplodocus. Crikey, we're getting some. We've got some comments coming through here on the chat from Tom, bit behind, I think.
Neil Patrick Harris.
John Cena can speak Chinese. Neil Patrick Harris?
Is that an extinct animal he wants to see tonight?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what he wants to see back, a male and female Neil Patrick Harris.
Doogie Howser, MD.
Yeah.
Colin, we will touch briefly on WrestleMania before we leave this evening. Very briefly. Just briefly, Jimmy. I think just to talk about maybe what we do next week. But well, thank you for the bird news. Have you fully decided on a T-Rex or what are you going?
Yeah, I'm going the old Brachiosaurus.
Right, sweet.
I'll do that.
Brachiosaurus and a T-Rex. We both went dinosaur. Little thought there, really. Let's be honest. But yeah, why not? Right. Well, with that out of the way, it's time for
And finally,
Before we
I
carry
don't
on
know-
with and finally, can
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
go
say
on,
Tom Rogerson's trying to dob us into HBO here for I think showing the opening to John Cena's show Peacemaker. I don't know. So he's trying to
Yeah.
chop us in.
We probably will get a copyright strike. Let's be honest. That's how it works. They're quite harsh on YouTube these days. But yeah,
Sorry.
I've got some and finally, but it's not my and finally. It's Jimmy's and finally. But I will present it. I'm quite intrigued to see what this is. So bear with me as I share my screen again. Okay. Disbelief at crate twin dogs Ronnie and Reggie who have human faces. Okay.
Now, before you go down, Stu, because
yep.
you can see the top of their heads there.
Yes.
These dogs have human faces.
Ronnie and Reggie are two mongrels.
Disbelief.
Yeah. Two mongrels who have left passers-by stunned and confused in Plymouth due to their alarming likeness to actual humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I'm
ready?
expecting big things. Right,
Get
I'm going
ready.
to focus on our reactions here.
Okay. It's like one of those crap shows from the past where they like hosted by Michael Barrymore, where they bring on the dog and go, well, he looks just like
What are we looking at? It's a
John
dog.
Major. I go, no, it's a dog.
I don't understand.
They look like human beings, Stu. What are you on about?
That one kind of looks like an Ewok, in fact. I would say.
Yeah,
Kinda
the
like
one
an
on the
Ewok.
right has got an interesting face, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
They
just in
stand
this.
out wherever they go.
Owner Kerry Dockwell says that Ronnie 7 and Reggie 8 often lead her to being stopped in the street by people saying they look human. Ronnie getting the lion's share of attention. There's not a day goes by that someone doesn't comment about the way they look. I'm sure there is. Many days go by.
Stu, do you know what's mad? I've only just realised the other day I stroked a couple of dogs on Mersey where I live when I was out walking. A pair of little dogs wearing little coats because it was cold, and one said Ronnie and one said Reggie. And I went, "Oh, Ronnie and Reggie." She went, "Yeah, that's what we call them." I wonder if it was these two dogs. I didn't look at them and think they had human faces, but I could have stroked these two dogs. Name dropping again. Ronnie and Reggie the dogs.
Yeah. He looks more like a dog, that bloke. But bizarre.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I know.
Close that. No thanks, close. Close it, because look, the next one really looks like a human.
Well, that's what I was going with. Ah, yes, there we go. No, nothing. Absolutely fucking
It's
nothing.
clear now.
Yeah. Slightly a bit depressed, I think. Okay.
That's not bad.
No, that's like Falcor from Neverending Story.
Yes.
A little bit.
But actually, I can see the mouth a little bit. Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. Any more? No more. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they really look like humans there when they've put hats on them.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on this story. Daily Star. Is this an April Fool's? Surely not.
No, I got this days ago.
29th of March. They don't even have that excuse. Fuck's sake.
I thought it'd make you laugh, Stu.
It did. You know me so well. Jimmy. There we go. That was just for an excuse to play it again.
And finally,
There you go.
I think it's been a stellar edition of the Renaissance Men podcast.
I agree. And just before you carry on, sorry, there's a comment in the. I promised people comments would get read out tonight, hence why I've been on the comment section.
That's worked well.
Tom Rogerson says they should remake Quantum Leap. We've discussed this before, haven't we? And I said, if it's a sequel, I'm bang in for it. As long as you
Yeah.
get Scott Bakula in at some point, do another show, because that's a great show. That's a great premise. You could carry on going with that, couldn't you?
You can fuck off with this though. I'm saying
Yes.
James Corden as Sam Beckett on your bike, Tom.
Yeah.
He's a man of the law, though, isn't he, Tom? I don't want to argue with him too much. Can you take me
He
down?
doesn't like to talk about it.
Right, move on.
You're a man of the law.
I fought the law and the law won. Yeah, yeah. I did want to mention something. Oh yes, Colin asked us about pre-WrestleMania thoughts. So at this moment, I do plan on watching WrestleMania. I assume you do too, Jimmy.
Yes, absolutely.
I won't burden you with your WWE Network. Don't worry about that. I'll find my own means to watch it. I don't want to leech off you. It's okay. But yeah, I mean, if all being well, if we do both watch it, then I think if we both watch it, I think we may try and come up with some kind of special episode to discuss it. Maybe outside of next Friday's episode. I don't know, but we'll have that chat offline. But I think regardless, we'll probably speak about it next Friday anyway. Are you excited, Jimmy?
It's
the
weird.
least excited I've been for WrestleMania ever, I think.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I don't even like. I don't really think about WWE anymore. Like as I say, I've been watching a lot of AEW. Me and Colin Doolan have gone in on AEW because we are. It's great. It's so good. The promos are great. The matches are great. They've got the best wrestlers. They really have. Apart from Brock and maybe Roman, what they're letting other people in WWE do is not a patch on what's going on in AEW. But I hope WrestleMania excites me. I hope when it comes on and I see the fireworks and I hear them go, "Welcome to WrestleMania." I hope I'm gonna feel it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. We've got 2 shows to watch. I definitely think we should do a show on it, Stu. Just maybe an hour long, one evening next week discussing it. So keep it off the Fridays. And do a it doesn't even have to be a live broadcast. You know, we could do we'll do something on it, won't we?
We will mark the occasion. I think that's fair.
But I don't know what match I'm looking forward to.
No, me either. I think that's a great point by Colin. WrestleMania the spectacle would be great fun. Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking forward to most, and I think that's what I don't get from NWA or AEW is the spectacle. That's what WWE still does the best for me. It's
agreed
that feeling of an event, you know. And don't get me wrong, they don't do it as well as they used to. You know, pay-per-views don't seem to have the same. You know, you don't seem to have the same set dressing. They used to go all out, didn't they? Like put, I don't know, let's have 1,000 tables, ladders, and chairs on the stage because it's TLC, or I don't know, let's have a massive cage because it's Hell in a Cell. They don't seem to go to that level of effort anymore, but it's still above and beyond what the other companies do.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not. Yeah, I liked it when. Do you remember when they had one? Was it a Caesar's Palace where Bobby the Brain came out?
Yeah,
came out and he was back to front and stuff. You know, that wasn't the best for WrestleMania by a long shot, but it was pretty good fun. And I completely agree. The spectacle is the thing, and that is one thing with AEW. I can't really tell the difference between the pay-per-views and the Rampage and Dynamite. There's not a huge difference. And I think that's something they're lacking. Other people may disagree because they don't need it. And I agree.
They let the wrestling do the talking, I guess.
Yeah. And I agree that it's brilliant, but I'm a fan of the spectacle. So I would like more spectacle. I also miss Vince saying, "Welcome to WrestleMania." I miss those old voices.
Yeah. It does have a certain feel about it, WrestleMania season. But that has lessened for me, and I think it's fair to say for a lot of people over the last few years. But yeah, I will give it my darndest. I will try and watch. I might not watch it Saturday and Sunday, but hopefully over the course of the week, I will get it done to the point where we can do a show on maybe Wednesday or Thursday, perhaps.
They're talking about going and watching it live in the group. like on the bucket list, going to see it live. And Rogerson says, "I'll dress like Hulk Hogan."
Yep. Probably get you lynched in certain states, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll be in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah, I think you would. Yeah. Hulkster.
There you go. But we've got Stone Cold Steve Austin going to be there. We've got Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. That might be interesting because I like Pat McAfee quite a lot.
Yeah, Seth versus an unknown opponent.
Is it going to be Cody Rhodes?
Well, let's assume so. Do you know what I've loved? Just observing on the WWE Twitter. There's a Twitter account for the vacant character. Whenever a title is made vacant, they've assumed the persona of the vacant character, and at the moment it's Seth Rollins versus this shadowy, see-through character, vacant, and he's kind of like going back and forth with Seth Rollins about, it's been quite good.
I do miss that. Like when they used to do Survivor Series, and there'd be a mystery team member, and you wouldn't find out till the event. That was good fun. That stuff. They were better in the past at these things, weren't they? They were better at keep getting the excitement built up for these things.
Yeah. They were. But we look forward to that next week. We said we was going to try and go 2 hours. We've failed spectacularly.
Yeah, really badly.
But yeah, our plan is to be a bit more brief. I think we had a bit more to say on this episode because we haven't done one for a while. But going forward, we hope to keep it bright, breezy, and brief, but without, kind of taking anything away from the content we bring to you. But Jimmy, thank you for joining me as always. If you want to get involved in the community, head over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/RenaissanceCast. Twitter, we've got twitter.com/RenaissanceCast. Please like and subscribe if this is your first time here. But until next week, thank you, Jimmy. Thanks everyone in the chat. Thank you, Real Matthew Early. Don't know who that is. Is that someone you know? He sounds like John.
Yep. No, Real Matthew Early's a friend of ours. Yep.
Colin, thank you. Tom. Who else we had in tonight? Bear with me. Holly, obviously. Thank you, Holly, for joining us as always. Yeah, if I've missed anyone, I do apologise. But yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Until next week, please take care and goodbye.